Here is your podcast.
You know, I've been doing this show 9 years. In the beginning, it was great. I got to show up and just talk and leave. That was fantastic. But now Mex sends me this theme song, tells me to put my own voice in it. Lily shows up. She doesn't produce a goddamn thing. All she does is laugh, turn around, and go home. The only thing I don't wind up doing for this show is listen to it. That's your fucking job. Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. I'm alive, in case you were wondering. If you were out there thinking to yourself, hey, I wonder if Mike killed himself this week or something bad happened to him or maybe a piano fell on him from a great height. Well, here's the news. That did not happen. However, a piano fell on me from a very small height, unfortunately. And so I'm a little stiff. I won't lie. I'm a little discombobulated. I got a bad wing. I got a bad wheel. It was on my right-hand side. So I got a bad right arm and a bad left leg, courtesy of a piano being dropped from just barely above my head. You know, here's what happened. And this is totally the truth. My manager and I, in my apartment building, well, we get along. I mean, I like her husband. He's a good guy. He's an actor and stuff. She and I, you know, we have a very tenant-manager relationship. And but lately, she and her husband and I have been in a little bit of a prank war. I'm not going to lie to you. That's how we do things. And you know, I'm usually not that guy. I'm not a prankster. I don't do that. But it all started because, and first of all, this will really tell you that I'm not a prank guy. He fell asleep out by the pool, and I set him on fire, which sounds weird, right? But it's like it's like a hot foot, because I heard about a hot foot. They're like, dude, there's totally a hot foot. And what you're supposed to do is, I guess, you put a book of matches in somebody's shoe and you light one of them, and then when it burns down, it goes and it flares up, and they're like, oh my God, I have a hot foot. Ha ha, hilarious. And then you chew sunflower seeds and you spit them on the ground, because this usually happens in a baseball dugout. Well, I saw Wayne, I should not mention his name, but I am. I saw him fall asleep out by the pool, and in my head, I'm just like, man, you know what? I'm going to get that guy. I don't even know why. I've never had an instinct to get a guy in my entire life. I've never went, ha ha, can't wait to put one over on that chum. That's never popped into my skull ever. But for some reason, in this instance, I saw him out there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna engage in some tomfoolery with young Wayne as he gets some Z's. And I doused him in kerosene and I set him on fire. Now that seems, I gotta be honest, at the time, seemed funny. Like, when I thought about it in my head, I was like, this is gonna be hilarious. And truth be told, if he had stayed asleep the entire time, probably would have been a lot funnier. I will tell you this, be very careful. When you are going to come up with a human hot foot, and you see someone sleeping, you think to yourself, ha ha, I cannot wait to set that person on fire, and you douse them with the kerosene, if they wake up before you strike a match and they say, no, stop what you're doing right there. Because it sure seems fun. It seems like something you'd want to do. You're like, oh, I cannot wait to douse him with kerosene and see him burst into flames and run around the pool like Bugs Bunny or Elmer Fudd or whatever the fuck. And then he'll jump in the pool and we'll have a great laugh. It'll be hysterical. Because, you know, if a hot foot is funny, hot body's got to be off the fucking charts for funny. I mean, you think of burnt shoes a crack up? Think about the fact that you would actually burn a guy in a fucking pool chair and the plastic would melt around his limbs. Oh, hysterical. Trapping him in a prison of molten plastic and ash. Oh my Lord, is that hilarious? Is that not the funniest thing you've ever heard? I think you would be lying if you were to say no. So I doused him in the kerosene and I'm like, this is, oh boy, I went flounder on him. I went, oh boy, is this great. And I did not have matches. I mean, I have a bunch of matches because for some reason my ex-wife thought that was a good thing to collect. And I did not, this is so weird. The day I went through all of her shit, like you guys remember that when I had a wife? I had a wife and she left all of her stuff here and she left me behind and she just took literally she took my Monty Python thing in the rice cooker. That's all she took. So she left all of her important papers and her birth certificate and all of her other shit here. I don't know if it was just because she didn't want to face the fact that she was really leaving or she wanted to put that thing on me and like, hey, haha, deal with this nonsense, loser. Which I didn't for a good 18 months or so, maybe even 2 years. That sat in my closet and I was like, oh, I'll get to that. And now that I think about it, you know what would have been a good solution for that stuff? Kerosene in a lawn chair, right? I put the remnants of her life out there and just, and I go, ha, 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 ha. But the thing is, inanimate objects don't run around the pool and go, hoo, 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 and then jump in the pool to cool off. So you lose half the humor right there. However, it does not mean that you cannot set fire to all of your ex's things and cackle maniacally. Oh, you can enjoy yourself. Ha 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 ha. No, what I recommend you do with your ex's stuff, and you leave it in your closet for 2 years and hope magically something happens to it. And then, in a fit of pique, you decide to take it out and tear the boxes apart and go, I'm going to throw out the shit that needs to be thrown out, and I'm going to send the important stuff to her mom's house, and then her parents die and you don't call to say that you were sorry. That's how I recommend to handle your life. That's seriously true. Like Lily's Karen, is that her name?
Pick a wife.
I don't know.
Why don't you just say mom?
Yeah, they're all the same. Yeah, her fucking. I feel awful about it. I don't even. It's not even funny to joke about. If anything, it makes me look like a terrible person.
Died and you didn't call her because you're no longer in her life.
Well, her dad died, and she cherished her dad, and he was a good man. He was good to me look, I was in that person's life for 20 years. It was shitty to call. It was not to call.
I disagree. It is no longer your place to call.
No, you call and you say you're sorry and you pay your respects like a gentleman.
Yes. Hi. Remember when you bailed out in the middle of the night and took a sleeping bag and my rice cooker and my Monty Python? Yeah, well, I heard your dad died, so I thought I'd call you and bring back all the terrible memories of us being married. Yeah, okay. Have a nice one. Sorry to hear about his death.
See, that's pretty close, but it would have been more like, hi, remember me? We were married for 20 years, and then you made off in the middle of the night with a sleeping bag and my Monty Python, and I called to remind you about a terrible marriage, and now that your father has died, is he done watching the Monty Python? Maybe I could get those back now.
There's no reason ever.
Because I know you didn't take those for you. So anyway, so it doesn't matter. The whole point is that happened, and I feel shame, like the goalie in Slapshot. But I feel
matches.
Well, yes, I do. So that's the thing is I went through her stuff. And literally, her first hand turkey drawing from when she was 4. I mean, she left all of that shit in the closet. All of the People magazines from the day Princess Diana died. All of the newspapers from the day JFK Jr. died, because those were things she loved. She loved JFK Jr. She loved Princess Di. She was fascinated by those people and enjoyed them. And she left all of them. And I got to be honest, I tossed all those, went in the trash. Those were not worth the shipping cost. I'm like, look, you must not have loved him that much.
That's right.
I got to be honest with you. I actually took JFK Jr.'s magazines on a plane and then threw them into the water below. I opened up a fucking. That's how committed I was to the bit. I took all of her JFK Jr. stuff and I took a plane and I threw it all into the Atlantic Ocean. And then I came home and then I packed up all of her Princess Di stuff and I flew to France and I crashed into a traffic tunnel and I just watched it go up in flames. Well, actually, first I apologize. I went on Match.com and I set up a profile for all of the Princess Di memorabilia, and I had it meet an Arab guy and date it a couple of times. And then I took it to France and had it sped into a traffic tunnel, chased by paparazzi, and it burst into flames. As shocked as I was to find that in my closet. Imagine how shocked I was when Dodi Fayed Jr. replied to the Match.com page. I would love to date a pile of Princess Di magazines. Why not? All right, well, just make sure we get them to France before midnight, because we know what happens then. Hey, can you hear him yelling? I wonder if it's coming through on the cast. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear it. I recorded last week at 4 a.m, and his news was on and then it was off, or his news was off and then he turned it on halfway through or whatever. You weren't here last week. I did a show last week.
Yes, I know it.
Yeah. Oh, you. Well, I don't know about all that, but I did. Well, you heard that I did a show. You didn't hear the show.
I heard you did a show.
Okay.
I can't leave you to your own devices, can I?
I don't know if you can or you can't, because look what happens. I set Wayne on fire. Fuck. If you would have been here, you probably would have gone, this is probably not the funniest thing in the world. Oh, there's one of the twins. I have twins in my building. Yeah, and I finally introduced myself. Did I talk about that on the show?
I don't remember.
I've known them. I've lived here 20 years, and I've called them sir every time I see them. And now I introduce myself. I'm like, hi, how you guys doing? And it's I don't know, fucking Ronnie and Donnie, whatever the fuck their names are. And you know what I call them now? Sir. Because they're fucking identical twins. I got no fucking clue. It's funny, I actually have friends that are identical twins, and I have a mnemonic to remember their name. Mnemonic? Pneumatic? What's that fucking thing called? Is it
pneumonia? You have pneumonia.
I have pneumonia. Oh my Christ, I got the chills. Wrap me up.
How do you remember their names?
I don't want to say because people here would know who they are.
Okay.
So I just to remember their names. There's it's an easy one. You know, it's the Sklar brothers because they're identical twins, and it's Randy and Jason, and Jason wears glasses. Jugga. It's like you just remember J and G. Jason glasses. It's a thing. I don't even know why. So that's how you remember and I think obviously they do that so people will know who they are. Anyway, so but it's a thing where you literally in your mind you have to go, all right, Jason is the guy with glasses. JGG. It's silly. And then I think of Jordan, Jesse, go JJG, and then I'm like, wait a second, Jordan doesn't wear glasses, and neither does Jesse, but Jason wears glasses. And girls don't make passes at twins who wear glasses, so that means Randy's getting laid. That's how I remember everything. That's how my brain works. That's how I have to handle it. Imagine shaking their hands and saying hi, because I got to go through all that in my fucking head before I go, hi, Jason. That's at least 6 pumps before I drop the name on the guy. All right, so it's a shame that you have to do that with your friends, though. You would think that you just know them, but then God plays that evil trick on you and makes them look exactly alike. That's all just fucking bullshit.
So weird.
That's the total truth. You think I'm playing pranks by setting fire to my landlord? God himself is setting pranks by putting 2 of the same on here. Imagine, let me ask you that. Let me ask you this right now. Let's talk about this. Noah builds the ark. The Sklar brothers walk up. He doesn't take both of them, right? Because they're both exactly the fucking same. He throws one of them off. Right? Yeah, okay, you're nodding, but this is a fucking audio show, so...
Yeah, he does. The one with glasses, because he's inferior.
Exactly. Where you take Randy. He's the superior Sklar. You got to bring the superior Sklar. Fuck you, failure Sklar. Dumps him into the drink. So anyway, as I've mentioned before, I'm not a prank guy. But yeah, so I have matches because I went through Karen's stuff, and it was just this pile of everything. How do you
go through all of that, find matches, and not just go piles of paper, matches? Yes, perfect.
Well, you would think that, right?
Yeah.
But I don't do that. My mind does not go to that sort of destruction like you. I only engage in setting things on fire when I think it'll be hilarious. And also, I've experienced the pain of having all of my things set on fire by an ex, so that's probably not the way to go.
Left behind.
Her things were left behind. My things were not left behind. My things were
totally different situations.
Yes, but still,
No,
I was banging that chick, and Karen had been banging me, and then there you go.
Karen left.
Uh-huh.
Karen left and left her stuff. She didn't care about it.
She totally cared about it. No, she did, because I would often get notes. I care about that stuff.
I don't think she ever sent you a note.
She did. She sent it in an envelope that just said Mike Fruit Punch Media, and I opened it up. I care about that stuff. She was like fucking Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense. I care about that stuff. And so I knew it was always whispered into my head. It was echoing in the chamber brain that I have. My skull is empty other than a tiny brain the size of a Hostess fruit pie. But then the rest of the space is filled with rage. All right, so I care about that stuff. So Wayne pulls up a lawn chair, grabs a nap, and I think to myself, hey, remember that time when Karen left all of her stuff? Didn't she leave some matches around and some kerosene? That's what she collected. She thought kerosene was hilarious to collect. I don't know what it was. Well, I got to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Karen was a furry, and she would often build a campfire, and I would have to dress up like Smokey the Bear in order to have sex with her. That's just the way it worked. So I would don jeans and a yellow pith helmet, and a soft wet nose, and then I would bury it. All right, so there was all of this stuff, and she literally, like, all of her things were left behind, and the matches were strewn about. When we moved her, she used to have an awesome decorative bowl for the matches. And she would get matches from anywhere we went. Back when you could smoke in public places, she had a healthy collection of matches when I met her. And then it just grew and grew with our time together over the 20 years. Until we finally had a matches room. I'm not going to lie. We have a 1-bedroom apartment. The bedroom was filled top to bottom with matches. And then she and I slept on the floor, cuddled up against the elements. and thinking to ourselves, boy, if only we had a fire. Can't collector's items. Do not grab them and use them. Those are collector's items. They belong in that room. And oftentimes I would go in and I would play a prank. I would move the matches around to see if she noticed. She would notice immediately. And I would be scolded. And I would have to eat out of my dish outside. All right. So a lot of this is not true. It's up to you to figure out what is and what isn't. So I set fire to my landlord. Anyway, how funny is that? It's up to you to decide what's true and what's not. So I set fire to my landlord. But not really my landlord, the managers. Because I wouldn't do that to my landlord. Fuck, he's 95. Guy probably lived through the Holocaust and shit. I can't set him on fire because he's just going to look at me and go, hey, been there, done that. Because you got to figure if you're 95, somebody set you on fire at some point in your life, right? I mean, I got another 45 years for it to happen to me, but I'm fully expecting it. Even though I talked about it on the show here once, my preference for that. I was like, you gotta, if you're going to set me on fire, I got to be asleep. So and that's what I thought with Wayne. Oh my God, this all ties in perfectly. I should have followed my own advice. Fuck. Because Wayne's asleep in the chair and I'm like, haha, and I douse him with the kerosene and he wakes up and goes, no. And then, I set him on fire. It's not nearly as funny as you would think. And he got up and he tried to get up anyway, but he was overwhelmed by fumes. And I was like, fuck, this guy needs to stop, drop, and roll. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. He recovers. Everything's fine. He's burnt a little bit. Like I said, trapped in a prison of molten plastic and ash, but good for him. But yet, some of the neighbors see it. I'll be honest with you, one of the twins thought it was hilarious. The other one did not. Sir loved it. Sir, not so much. But everybody else there was like, whoa, that's hilarious. But what I don't think about, when I do something like that, that's just the first salvo in a prank war. And I'm not a prank war guy. I'm not a prank guy. I'm not a war guy. I'm certainly not a prank war guy. But when I do something like that, I'm just inviting mischief, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm opening up the door for retaliation. And so just this weekend, I'm leaving the house. Yes, that's right. I left the house this weekend, everybody. And I know what you're thinking to yourself. Oh, Mike, finally you're experiencing the sunshine and going out into the world. Well, I was out of chocolate. So I had to leave the house and go somewhere and do something. So I had to go grab a pile of Hershey bars or something along those lines. And so I left the house this weekend and I opened my door. And here's the way my apartment works. It opens into a courtyard. Like I don't live in a building. I mean, it's a structure, certainly, but it's kind of a oval.
You live in a compound around a pool.
Is it a compound?
Yes.
Ooh.
There's a gate that
Well,
you
no,
go
it's not a
into,
compound.
And it's a building where everybody faces the pool.
But if it was a compound, only one person would live here. Only one person would live in a compound. It's like Elvis. Like Graceland was a compound. It was fortified against the living dead.
The Walking Dead?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was a compound right there. Boom. Well, I mean, there are compounds there but Elvis's Graceland was a compound. Boom. Like I said, fortified against zombies. And because Elvis way ahead of his time. He's like, I will, if the zombies come, say, man, if you see any zombies, hey, Charlie and Red, let's get in the jungle room. That's exactly what he said. He did. And, how brutal it would be for Elvis. Because Elvis, let's put it this way. If the dead were to rise and walk the earth, while Elvis was still around, let's go in 75. Okay. I don't want to, 77 Elvis, no chance. Zombies take him down immediately and they spend a week eating him. And you know, he's not happy at all. He's just laying there. Elvis lives through the whole thing. He's just being eaten by, don't look so sad. He's just fucking singing. I can't help being eaten by zombies. All right, so love me tender, bite my thigh. All right, so he's dead. Elvis is very dead. But at the time, say 75, the zombie apocalypse happens. Now I'm 8. I'm dead immediately. There's no way I last. Well, 75, no, I'm 7. No, I'm 8. Depends on what month it happens. What month does it happen?
What month?
What month in 75? Just give me a month.
We're going to go June.
I'm 7. All right, so so the apocalypse, the zombie apocalypse happens in June of 75. Elvis is home. He is not on the road. He's at Graceland. All right, and he's fortified. It's him and Charlie Hodge and Red West and his karate teacher and Priscilla and about 17 teenage girls in fucking white panties, and they're all in the house. And then the zombie apocalypse starts. And Elvis, this is the hard part for him, because look, you got to deal with other zombies and stuff, But he's got his brother buried in the backyard. Which, by the way, if that doesn't say compound, I don't know what the fuck does, dude. You got a fucking house with your brother buried in the backyard? That's absolutely a compound. I stand by my Graceland identification as a compound. But if the zombie apocalypse starts in 75, poor Elvis, his brother claws out of the ground and he comes right for him. Remember in fucking Night of the Living Dead when the chick went there and the brother, he's like, they're coming to get you, Barbara. And then he turns into a zombie.
Yes.
And then later in the movie, he shows up. He's like, how you doing? I'm going to eat you right now. I'm going to eat everybody. Because he's a greedy zombie. He's not going to share it with his zombie friends. And she's just like, oh, no, don't say it. I'm so sad. She was annoying, I got to admit. And that original Night of the Living Dead, you're rooting for Barbara to die. At least I was. Because she had mental problems. Because she didn't want to, look, her dad died, which I understand, or her mom, or whatever the fuck. But he was like weird looking. He looked like Iggy Pop, like her brother. He has like that, all those sharp features, and then he had the weird gloves on. And then he becomes the zombie, and then he comes for her later. So she's got to deal with the hungry zombie brother. So that's what Elvis would exactly have to deal with. But hungry infant zombie brother. Oof. That's got to be the name of the show, right? Hungry infant zombie brother. But look, because zombies are bad enough, right? It's like, and always in those movies, that's always the turning point. Like in Walking Dead, that dude had to shoot his mom in the head because she like had a baby who was a real baby, but then she turned into a zombie because she died during childbirth, and then he had to shoot his own mom in the fucking skull. That's Coral, right? Coral had to do it.
Spoiler alert!
Well, that's season 2. If you're not caught up on fucking season 2, get the fuck out. Tell your story walking. Go take a nap on my pool. That's what I say. I don't want to fucking hear you bitching at me for spoiler alerts for season 2 of The Walking Dead. Now, let's talk about now with The Walking Dead. I watched it the other day. I'm back because I told you, but I didn't really watch it. I fast forwarded until I see Negan. So this week's episode was a short one. No Negan this week.
Spoiler alert!
All right, spoiler alert, I guess. Yeah, but they're all friends. Like I literally
Spoiler alert!
Well, it's so funny. I go to watch it.
Spoiler alert!
I go to watch it.
Spoiler alert!
I'm fast forwarding through it. And I'm looking for Negan. And again, because I don't care about anybody else. I don't care about any of these guys. I watched all of the last season just looking at Negan parts. And then zipping through. If there's not a baseball bat covered in barbed wire, I don't care about your story. Guy with a lion. Nobody gives a fuck who you are.
Spoiler alert!
Dude on a lion. That's not a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert!
Listen, people need to know these things.
Spoiler.
Some guy owns a lion. Lion is handy in a zombie apocalypse, right?
It's a tiger.
Is it a tiger? Maybe I'm watching a different show. That made me laugh. It could be a completely different thing. See, you're sending out like spoiler alerts for no reason. Well, nobody's watching the show I'm watching.
You're not watching the show.
Apparently not. No, I'm fast forwarding through. I'm seeing a guy with a fucking lion. Come on, that was beautiful. It could be a different show. You know what? I apologize. It might not be The Walking Dead at all. It could be a completely different show.
There was no one donated.
But Elvis, like he's got a graveyard right there on his fucking property, and so his hungry infant zombie brother claws his way out, and Elvis has got to put a bullet in him. And first of all, Elvis has no ammunition left. He's been shooting flash cubes all afternoon. Then the zombies show up. Goddamn, I will never tire of those stories about Elvis. Never. They're gorgeous. Just those dumb stories. Do you realize the life these people have led, like the things that they've done, and you don't even know about it? Like all the debauchery that you would do if you were like a star. Like Brad Pitt, everybody's just like, oh, I bet Brad Pitt like gets laid a lot. You have no idea. None. Brad Pitt goes to Romania and fucks whole schools of girls. Like he just does it. He does it because he can. Spoiler alert. Especially if you're in Romania. Lock the doors. Brad Pitt's in town. But like, if you had all that money, why wouldn't you do crazy shit? Like I was just, Howard Stern, I listened to him and his life, he's got this amazing fucking model wife, and then he's got this castle in fucking Florida, and he sits in it and he paints his cats, and then he does his radio show.
Wait,
and he goes to therapy.
Paint his cats, or does he paint pictures of his cats?
Well, he paints paintings of his cats. Because the fucking wife, she literally, she took his balls away, and now he sits in the house and he just paints all day. He paints, that's what he does. They go to some charity event, and then they foster 87 cats, and then he makes paintings of them, and then he does his radio show. Man, if I had that kind of weird money, like I'd just be like Indiana Jones and shit. Like I'd do nonsense. I'd declare war on small countries.
You did nonsense for a while, but then eventually nonsense becomes nonsense.
Declare war on small countries. That's what I would do. If I had $600 million, I would form an army. I would be like Tony Montana. I would have just 1,000 dudes with machine guns roaming my house. That'd be fucking beautiful.
Why?
And I'm not even high. Like, I would just love it because it was happening. It'd be so cool.
So weird.
I would totally, wouldn't you, come on, wouldn't you just like go places and try to buy people? Like, wouldn't you do like nonsense like that? You just go to some town and you just be like, hey, can I buy this town? Like, I'm going to run it. I'll be the mayor of it. It's Pittsville now. Like, if you're Brad Pitt, you're just like, yeah, I totally bought this town in Romania. It's my town. And you fucking make them paint paintings of you and sing songs of you. And then you bring them like fast Wi-Fi internet and they're like, think you're a god because you're the only one who could bring it to them. I would spend every last dime of my fortune to bring fast internet to Romania. That's what I would do with my life. Is Romania even a country anymore? I don't even know. That's, you know how weird shit is in your head? Every time I say Romania, all I think of is Ceausescu. Because he was the dude who was like there and he was like the despot and then he got assassinated or whatever the fuck. But that name is like totally in my head. Ceausescu. He's a guy who used to set people on fire. There's a guy to respect. But I don't think he did it in any sort of prank sense. There was no prank war in Romania. I think it was just war. He didn't get any sort of prank war. So as prank wars are wont to do, they escalate, certainly. So over the weekend, I left my house. Like I said, I was going to go purchase something. I forget what. Goods and services, perhaps. I had to go to market for silk and textiles. I had to do that. I had to buy grain. I had to go and trade at the marketplace. All right, so I'm getting ready for Kuwait because that's what you do there. You know, there's just barefoot guys selling you bread. What a mess.
Can't wait to go back.
Well, you know what? I loved it, but at the same time, I would say I'd tell Ahmad, I'd just be like, dude, look at those cats with their shoes off. I mean, any restaurant you'd go to, dudes would they just kick their sandals off and put their feet up on the furniture and then eat with their hands. I'm just like, look, you know what? Just fucking eliminate the middleman and scoop it up with your whole foot. Like, why not? Just go ahead and grab a piece of chicken with your foot. And because the thing is, you got to be real limber to feed yourself with your foot. You ever try to hold a chicken leg with your foot? It's tough. So these dudes, seriously. But these dudes are like eating, but they have their shoes off. They're eating with their hands. And in my head, I'm just like, you know, what they should do is like, if you just want to be total, like maximum disgusting, like just pick up the food with your foot and feed the other dude. Like put your foot in that dude's mouth with a fucking, just like 5 toes full of cream corn. Just do that. Bust that down his throat. That's fucking nasty. Or you don't have to order the cream corn. I'm not a fan. Soup. Eat soup with your foot. All right. So I left the house this weekend.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
How did the piano fall on you?
It's interesting you would ask that.
I don't understand any of this. I have so many questions about the fire still.
I go to leave my house on Sunday. And the way that works, I have like a courtyard. You say it's a compound. I call it a courtyard. An oval with a courtyard. You call it a compound. Whatever you want to call it. So I have an inside door and an outside door. I got a 2-door operation here at my apartment. That's how I like to handle things. Because if you get through the first one, you got to get through the second one. First door means you're interested. Second door means you mean business. So if you somehow make it through both of them, then we tangle. Then we got to go. We got to have a fucking ring-a-dang. We got to have a rowdy-dow. But you got to get through both doors first. And there's a lock on each of them. There's a couple of locks on the inside one. I don't want to tip it. I don't want to give you a schematic on how to get into my fucking house. But if you get through that first door, which is metal and has 2 locks, there's another couple of locks waiting for you on the inside door. And if you get through those, I'll tell you what, you got a couple of big-ass fists waiting for you inside here, ready to go at it. And a whole former bowl full of matches. You don't want any part of me, friend. I set one guy on fire. Might happen again. So I go to leave my house, and I open my inside door. Got to do that when you're leaving. Leaves another door for me to navigate. And I will admit there was an inkling, a hint that something may be wrong because there was a large shadow outside and it seemed otherwise sunny. Now, I do live in a recessed part of the building with the balcony above me, so I thought, well, maybe someone just got their rug out and it's blocking the sun. And when I opened my outside door, I took a step outside. Piano comes crashing down on my head. My manager had set it above the door like a bucket of water. But but instead decided to go the piano route, thinking it would send a starker message. Oh, and it did. It gave me 88 reasons to realize I will never set another man on fire. I got 88 reasons, and a piano falling on my head is one. So what's funny to me, and I will now tell you this here's a peek behind the curtain, folks. I was literally getting to the reveal on the piano, and then you asked me about the piano. I'm like, you killed the momentum of the piano joke.
I disagree.
You think, because I thought maybe they had forgotten about it up to that point. And then when I was going to open the door and have it fall on me, there would be a huge explosion of laughter from you, because you'd go, there's the fucking piano.
And there's still like this explosion of laughter.
Well, yes, you enjoyed part of it, but I think you would have enjoyed it more if you hadn't gone, what about the piano? Because I was just about to unload the piano.
Are you Hitchcock shaming me for...
Listen, you're the one who fucking yelled at me because I didn't have a script for this fucking show.
That's
so believe me.
why I yelled at you.
That's exactly why you yelled at me. She's like, literally, she comes here. Again, she hasn't been here in what, a month, 2 months?
Wait, I have
and she's
a
like,
question about the show, though.
About what show?
About the fire.
Okay.
I have this question about the fire. Where were the matches from? The collection.
From Karen's collection.
Yes, but which matches did you use? Like, my sister collected matches from all the hotels in Vegas. So,
Oh.
where were the matches from?
Oh, the ones that I used on him?
Yes.
Well, it's interesting that you would ask that, because I was looking through all of them and I was like, well, here's the Sybaris. I can't use those. The Sybaris, by the way, is a filthy sex hotel it's in Chicago and Wisconsin, and I think it's in...
That's a big hotel.
It's huge. Again, filthy sex hotel. You got to build it as big as you can, sprawling. But no, the matches I used specifically for this reason were from Marushka's, which is it's a restaurant in Joliet that Karen used to love, because it had like it had a po' boy served on garlic bread. That was like totally it was a really good sandwich. And so when I saw that, I was like, it's a little wink, a little nod of nostalgia to her and the fact she used to live here. I'm going to use the matches from her favorite joint to set my manager on fire.
It was a good choice.
She would have wanted it that way. And I know a lot of you out there are thinking to yourself, you know what, you fucking dick. You sent the most important things in her life back to her and not the matches from Marushka's? It's a solid point. I can't argue it. But you know what? Maybe I needed a little revenge. Maybe I needed a little comeuppance for her sneaking off my rice cooker, goddammit, with a police escort out of my fucking house. 4 cops, her niece, my rice cooker, and my Monty Python DVDs disappeared into the ether, never to be seen again. So maybe I keep her favorite fucking matches and I stare at them every day and I laugh. Ha ha! Take that, dead parents!
Wow.
So I personally, as a comedian and a man who structures jokes, I think you stepped on the piano bit, because it would have been
on the piano bit.
But that's again, we work at this, we fly by the seat of our pants. I got yelled at it earlier. I got yelled at it for that earlier, but now you see that I can make it work. You can see that the magic of it sometimes exists. And I was bringing it all around to the piano.
Had there been an outline of the show, I would have known not to step on it.
If I was not creating the show out of fucking whole cloth on the fly, then you would have an outline for the fucking show. This became an incident here today, folks. We had a discussion about why I don't script out what I'm going to talk about.
That's really not what it was. I said, why don't you have a plan today? Because you said you had something you were going to talk about, but then you didn't think you should talk about it, and then you weren't sure if you wanted to talk about it because you weren't sure what you were doing. And I was like, well, here's the hard part of the job. I'm here to do the show.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about? That's your job, is talking.
Interesting you heard it that way, because I heard a lot of, hey, what the fuck is your problem? Why aren't you doing this?
Because you have issues.
No, I think so. In this instance, you have issues.
I don't have issues.
Well, why are you just sitting there? What are you going to talk about? Like, if you wrote out an outline, because this is your fucking job, Mike. And I go, I know it's my job. Yeah, but it's your fucking job. You should probably have a listing of what you're going to talk about, and you should know. And I go, well, I don't like to work like that. I like to work where I just kind of start talking and we see what happens.
You turned around and said, well, I was going to talk about this, but now I'm not going to.
Well, because I have certain ideas and certain things. Well, I do.
Why don't you convey that to me as your producer?
Because I don't know if you're ever coming here.
Oh, my God, you're so full of shit.
Why would I tell you anything?
That I wonder.
Because you would just rip it in half. You just throw it away. You and your stupid plans.
We also had a conference call earlier.
The best laid plans of mice and men.
The best laid plans of Mike and men. Ding, 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 ding.
Does that replace Hungry Infant Zombie Brother as the name of the show, perhaps? I love the fact that you're keeping track. Finally, someone is here to keep track of the names of the show.
I do.
You never do any of your jobs anymore.
That is not true. At my house, I do not have a legal pad. You don't bring your legal pad.
You just mentioned a good point. We're back at my house.
Yes.
That's why, because they were all wondering, why are the twins at Lily's house? That makes no sense. Perhaps they followed us over there. No, our friend Lily now is driving. She's able and mobile.
Well, but I'm driving.
She's out there, so watch yourself, basically is the point.
Stay off the roads.
But she is not, but she made her way over here, even though, last week she was ill and she sprung that on me late in the game and she's like, I'm throwing up.
I got ill.
Well, exactly. I
didn't plan that.
Again, I fully own up to it. You heard, I was fucking really mad at you.
Oh, you were furious that I got sick.
But I recognized that I should not be that way and I was able to pull back. Well, yes. But it doesn't mean I can't be fucking pissed off. I mean, initially I'm just like, God damn it, what the fuck? Because I have plans and you wait and we bumped it from Tuesday to whatever the fuck. And then we went Wednesday and then you're like, 10, 11, noon, I'm sick. And I'm like, duh. And then, I sat around and stared and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? And then I did a show and then it wasn't the show I wanted to put out. And then I did another show at 4 in the fucking morning. What the fuck, man? And you were probably actually better by 4 in the morning. I could have called you. You could have come over here.
Oh, I wasn't.
No, you're still sick now.
Still not better.
We got like a migraine deal happening.
Yeah, don't get 2 pairs of glasses that are different after not being able to see for 8 months.
I know exactly what you're saying because don't ever let a piano drop on your head from a very short height. Don't ever get involved in a prank war with the manager of your building, or the owners of your building. God, I don't want him to die. I want to preserve him. I want to put his head in a jar because the second he dies, he's going to give this building to some fucking conglomerate and they're going to raise the price so much and it's going to be brutal. I'm going to get kicked out into the fucking street. I'm going to actually have to work for a living and pay my real rent instead of skating by on the fucking rent control that I've had for 20 years. Nope.
You're just month to month.
Month to month, yeah. I tried. Yeah, but we talked about this. I mean, my fucking my rug looks like Ted Gein's basement.
I'm
sorry.
Painted or done your
It's funny. I said Ted Gein because I was going to say Ed Gein and I was going to say Ted Levine because I thought of Silence of the Lambs. Like that's how. Just there's a peek into my brain. Literally, I was going to say Lecter's basement. In my head, I go, don't say Lecter. That's the easy one. And then I went, say Ed Gein. And I thought Lecter. And I thought of Ted Levine, and then I thought of Ted Gein, and weird, right? It's probably weird.
Do you have one of those mnemonics to know the two apart?
I do. Ed Gein is Ed Gein, but Ted Levine is not Ed Gein. That's how it goes.
That's the name of the show.
There you go. Why not? If you can remember what I said. I have serial killer mnemonics for everybody. I do all of them and stuff, Charles Manson is not Hanson, but he'll mbop you on the head.
Wait, is Hanson a serial killer?
Don't let the cat out of the bag, all right? Let's keep it quiet. We don't need people to know what Hanson does on their time off. Hanson was on my Cupcake show. By the way, hold on. Did you understand that with the cock in my mouth? I don't know if you could understand exactly what I said there. That sounds like the thing you'd say the first time you ever got ass fucked. I mean, literally, like you'd just be sitting there and the head of the cock just like burst inside you and you just go, oh, Hanson was on my Cupcake show. That's literally the first thing you say the first time you ever get ass fucked in your life. That's the first thing that comes out of your mouth. And do me a favor, if you've never been ass fucked, but you're planning on it or it ever comes up, please say that. Don't tell the person you're with. I don't care. Man or woman, whoever you are, if you're about to take the pipe, just literally wait for it and prepare. If it's by surprise, of course, it'll just come out on that way. But if it's something you're planning on and you're easing it in and you're doing enemas and then you're like 1 finger, 2 finger, loosening it up and then getting ready to do the real thing, then when it's...
PSA.
Well, I'm just... Look, here's how you got to do it. I mean, you can't just surprise people with that. You got to go slow. You got to get like a whole bottle of lotion and you got to fucking make that work. No, I can't tell that story. I'm not going to tell that story. I will not tell that story. It's a hot story.
No, don't.
Actually, I got 2 stories like that.
I don't want to hear either of them.
Well, you're not the general public.
Oh my God, I'm all.
Let's put it on.
I am the ears and the face of the public here.
Let's put it on. No, let's ask a poll. Let's ask the people.
Who wants to hear the ass fucking story?
No.
I'm not putting
Just literally type, who wants to hear the Hanson was on my Cupcake show story? We'll call it that.
I'm not.
And we'll see if anybody goes, yeah, okay. Because if they do, they'll know. No, actually, I have 2. Yeah, I have 2 good stories about that. All right, so.
Put that on the Patreon page.
That'll be a bonus? I'll have a level just called Hanson's on my Cupcake show.
That right there would be some lovely content.
Doesn't somebody want to hear my favorite ass fucking stories? That'd be the
Yes,
greatest.
on the Patreon page. They have to pay for that.
I'll have a new podcast called like Backyard Swing Set or something like that. We'll call it that.
Hanson was on my Cupcake show is the name of your
What?
ass fucking podcast.
No, I kind of like Backyard Swing Set now because it kind of implies something, and like kids will all gather around to listen to it, and then hey, what's happening here?
No, that is not how you do that.
No, because maybe I call it Backyard Swing Set because then in the middle of it, some parent of the kid listening just goes, "Oh, Hanson was on my Cupcake show." They totally dismiss it. They're so disgusted. So, let me get those Marishka's matches. Let me just burn that script. Let's go ahead and take care of it. Let's get those Sybaris matches too. Let's go ahead and make that happen. Dude, well, you know what? I went to, because we went to the Sybaris, like Karen and I went. And that was awful. Like we had, like, because we used to have to fuck in all these different places, you know what I mean? Because she lived at home and I lived with like 9 brothers. So there was it just didn't happen. I mean, we'd have to get hotels, we'd have to do whatever and kind of scurry about. And I remember that we decided to go to the Sybaris because it was just like a sex thing. And we were going to say, well, I didn't know what that was at all. I mean, I was just,
Sex thing?
well, as far as a hotel for it, like, they had like a love tub and all that garbage, just fucking just syphilis germs, smoking a pipe when you walk in. How you doing there, fellas? You know what I mean? Just the place is just a mess. I mean, it's just like fucking inside of a colon. I mean, it's just literally filled with E. coli and nonsense. So, but we wanted to do it. We're like, let's go there. Cause we used to go, I ruined sex. Like one time we went and stayed at a hotel cause we used to look forward to it. That's the whole thing. We're like, we're going to go to this hotel. It's going to be amazing. And then we're just going to fucking go bananas all night and just do naked somersaults. And then we got Chinese food and I ate Chinese food in the room. And then I knew immediately I was sick. I was just like, I got food poisoning from the shrimp and the Chinese food. And I wound up, that was one of the, because I've had food poisoning where you throw up and you're like, but this was fire hose quality. This was like, holy fuck. This was, because sometimes you get that marathon food poisoning where it lasts like 2 or 3 days and you're throwing up slowly and you're just building up to it. And it's just, it's a marathon. It's 26 miles. And then sometimes you get that fucking Usain Bolt 100-meter dash out of your, I thought I was going to break the sink. Like I didn't even make it to the fucking bathroom. It was like, I'll tell this disgusting story. Why not? I went to run and I knew I wasn't going to make it. So it was one of those hotels where the sink was out in the little, like the bathroom you would go and there's a shower and a toilet, but then the sink and the mirror are outside of that. And I hit the sink and I just unloaded and I could not stop. And the sink is filling up and it won't drain because it's food. So she's, poor Karen is panicking. She doesn't know what the fuck is happening. I'm just like, and she's trying to be nice, but she's also realizing it's about to be a thing. And I finally had to literally close my mouth and cover my mouth and just take the other 4 steps and just start throwing up in the bathtub. Because the lid was on the toilet and I knew that I didn't even have that second. Thankfully, like it wasn't a glass door because I would have just blasted like right into it because I just ducked my head into the bathtub and just unloaded. And then it was one of those things where sometimes, like I said, you have food poisoning for 3 days and you're okay. Yeah. But it takes that long to sweat it out. Well, I mean, I fucking fire hosed all this shit out of me, gone. And I was fine. Like, I mean, the room was devastated. But certainly the bathtub and the sink are filled with vomit. But all of a sudden I felt okay. So and then to her credit, she's like, I'll do this, honey. And I'm like, no, don't get out, go away. I will take care of this. So I did. I had to actually scoop, and grab and throw things in the toilet and do that and then scrub and because we got the room all night. So I finished. I cleaned up the sink and I cleaned up the toilet. And I'll never forget. I went to go because she had the TV on. She's just sitting there in the bed, and I climb over, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Yeah, I think I'm okay." And I brushed my teeth 10 times and everything, and she's watching TV. I'm sitting next to her, and then I threw my right leg over her left leg, and she's watching TV, and then I took my hand and I just kind of like slid it over, and she never even looked away from the television. She goes, "I can't." And that was a big deal because like that's all we did. I mean, in cars and every fucking other place. And I just went, I know. And we watched TV in the hotel room we paid for that was supposed to be full of sexual gymnastics, but instead was full of a vomit marathon. Sexual Gymnastics and the Vomit Marathon. Let's call that. That's my album. Sexual Gymnastics and the Vomit Marathon. That should be an album. Honestly, when I think about it.
Not the name of your show, though.
No, but literally, I want to name my album Sexual Gymnastics and the Vomit Marathon. Literally, none of the content of the show is about sexual gymnastics or the Vomit Marathon. Nothing at all. I want to name the album that just to see the cover that Mex creates for Sexual Gymnastics and the Vomit Marathon. Let's put it to a vote. What's a better name for an album just on the basis of the artwork alone? Because I can't guarantee if I name an album Sexual Gymnastics and the Vomit Marathon, I'm going to talk about Sexual Gymnastics and the Vomit Marathon. You would think I would, but I may not. However, if I named my album Hungry Infant Zombie Brother, I may not talk about that. What if I name my album Hungry Infant Zombie Brother and I talked about sexual gymnastics and a vomit marathon? Again, I need to just do both these albums just to see the covers that Mex creates for either one. You can actually combine them. You can have sexual gymnastics with a hungry infant zombie brother in a vomit marathon. Or actually, you could be hungry for sexual gymnastics with an infant and then just have a zombie vomit marathon. No. Oh, Jesus. All of these albums are perfectly content. I'm excited about all of them, quite frankly, and the artwork. You guys can get me at mike@mikeschmidtcomedy.com. I'm going to get the fuck out of here and write these albums. You guys can be my friend at facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. You can be my friends at, you can be followers, not friends, at twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. It shows a little different from last week. Well, when it's daylight and things like that, you're just like, yay, there's a sun. And I'm on Snapchat. You can find me on there. I'm Mike40YOB.
I still haven't gotten a Snapchat.
I talked about it in here that I sent my first one to this person, Jamilton, who she sent up a picture of her baby. Was that her? Yeah, I think it was. And I just got a chat. I'll take this opportunity to apologize to Jamilton because she sent me like another picture of her baby. And I went to reply to it and I erased it so I didn't get to see what the baby did. And so I didn't know if I was supposed to respond to like this baby and his cuteness. And then I think our friend Dan sent me a Snapchat. Literally, that's like the second or third I've received. Second or third person I've received from, I should say. So I'm out there and people know that I'm out there and they've added me.
I never look.
I look occasionally and it'll say every day I get one person who adds me. There's always one new person. So I'm on Snapchat at Mike40YOB. I'm on Instagram at Mike40YOB. And I would tell you this, hop onto the Instagram thing. I don't know about Snapchat so much, but if you hop onto Instagram, because, I'm going to be in Kuwait next week and I'm going to be putting a bunch of stuff up.
Oh, yeah, sure. Get bogged down in food and nonsense.
Well, that's what you take photos of. When you're over there, you take photos of food and nonsense.
Are you going to Snapchat your food and just send it out to everyone who's your friend?
No, Snapchat, certainly.
Oh my God, you should totally Snapchat your food. And
let's talk about, I'll talk about this on the way out, on the other side. So again, be my friend, please. I'm your pal. You go to facebook.com/the40yearoldboy. I'm at Twitter, as I've mentioned, Instagram, Snapchat, all of these places are places you can find me. I'm on Ello and Peach, but I could not tell you what my username is on either of those because they instantly became a bad idea the second I signed up. So, like, I remember signing up for Ello because I even remember the discussion we had in your kitchen. It's because Facebook was starting to crack down on stuff and follow people and learn their stuff. And then I don't think that was the name change thing. That was when they were just kind of getting information on people. And everybody's like, we're totally leaving Facebook. And the Ello is like, how you doing? We're Ello. Everybody's like, I'm going to sign up for Ello. And the day you and I did it, we made sure we got our names. That was the thing. Let's make sure we get our names on Ello in case anything happens. And I've never thought about it since. I think I've even deleted it off my phone because my phone is full. And it's like, I need to save some room. Let's get rid of Peach and Ello that nobody cares about. Even though there's always room for Peach Ello. So follow me at all those places and be my friend. Our friend David Hernandez is the greatest. He does music, he does artwork, he does art music, he does musical art, he does arty music. You can do all those things. You can find him and be his friend at facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Or you can go to his own personal internet space. That's right. It's like a little dog house, but he hides in it. It's his, well, no, it's more of a duplex. It's a giant house. Why does he have to live in a dog house? He's a good guy. So you can find him at artbydmh.com. That's artbydmh.com. And you can actually hire him to do custom artwork for you, or you can buy some pre-painted, pre-done artwork. Right now he has, he's got his Valscapes, he's got his Gaicons, a couple of new Gaicons this week, a Richard Pryor, and I believe a Keith Richards. Keith Richards. Those are painted and ready for your house, so go check those out. Please buy those. And then, like I said, there's custom artwork. If you say to yourself, hey, I want you to do a painting of Keith Pryor, he would go ahead and do that, probably. A little smash 'em up. Little Keith Richards, Richard Pryor smash 'em up. A Richard, what if you wanted to be a Richard Richards? Oh, I should have gone that way instead of Keith Pryor. Dude, do me a Richard Richards. Wasn't it, that's a gay tennis player, right?
I thought of Richie Rich.
Richie Rich, Golden Spoon. No, Richard Richards is a transsexual tennis player from transvestite Transylvania. Just a sweet transsexual tennis player who unfortunately had to retire because she was afflicted with tennis cock, which was very bad.
Seems odd.
Yeah, it seems weird. I know, but I don't know how those people handle their bodies and what happens. Because once you start moving things around, you know what? That's, and I don't mean, look, this will sound insensitive, but maybe it's like, because they're moving stuff around. If you're like a lady who used to be a man or wanted to be a lady or all of those things, you remember those puzzles that was like a picture and then you can mix up all the squares and then you slid them around.
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to solve yourself. You're that puzzle.
I don't think that's how that works at all.
I think it's kind of like that. Because they're just like, I'm a lady.
I don't think it's like that at all.
No, because they're all their tiles are mixed up, and because they're growing up and they're like being told they're a man. And they're like, I'm not a man. I know I'm a lady, and all their tiles are mixed up, and their whole life they're sliding the tiles, and then they make the picture of the lady, and they go, ding, lady.
Aww.
Yeah, it's perfect. So that's how it works for Richard Richards, transsexual tennis player. It's actually Renee Richards, but I'm having fun. All right, so.
Oh, I know who Renee Richards is.
Yeah, Renee Richards, exactly. She there was a big deal in the 70s because she's like, hi, I'm a lady tennis player. And they're like, what the hell? What just happened? And then they let her play on the lady tour for a while, I think. Or no, she did not. I don't think she ever got in. I think actually she had sex with Bobby Riggs. He would not fight her on the tennis court. However, he took her in the bedroom.
I don't think that's how that works.
That's exactly how it works. Because Billie Jean King is like, I will fight you on the tennis court. And Renee Richards said, I will fight you on the tennis court. And he said, I will take you in the bedroom, young lady. And Renee Richards said, oh, tee-hee, Bobby Riggs. And then he scaled Mount Richards and he plopped himself on the top and planted a flag right in her mouth.
I don't think that's how that works at all.
All of that is how it worked. I saw the movie. They're making a movie right now with Steve Carell and somebody else for the Billie Jean King Bobby Riggs movie. Do you know who's playing Richard Richards? Vin Diesel. Hi, I'm Richard Richards, tennis pro lady.
I hope you write that movie right after you do your 2 albums.
That and the sweater tripped on the 405 or whatever we were on. I got so many great movies to write, folks. Bobby Riggs, mouth fucking Renee Richards, transsexual tennis player. That's perfect.
Oh my God.
Hi. 40 love. All right. So, but she's fine. Good for her though. She solved her puzzle. Slid the squares, lady, ding. And she said, I want to play tennis. All right. I want to wear dresses. All right. So, that's Renee Richards doing her best, level best. It was her doing her level best to make sure that we respect transsexual tennis players. And we did not see another one until Andy Murray, who was born a lady and then became a man. And only to equal out the Renee Richards thing. Literally. Yeah. They said, we need one. We got to get one. And then Andy Murray's like, I'll do it, because he was Andrea Murray. And then they said, all right, snip, snip, Andy, lady, ding, or man. No, he added stuff. Andrea Murray, she didn't get snip, snipped. She got plugged. He said, there you go. Stuck that right on there, and she was a dude.
I don't think that's how that works either.
It's a mixed up, turned up, shook up world, except for Andy Murray and Andy Murray. And Andy Murray. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I'd left home just a week before, and I'd never ever been to tennis camp before. All right, so stupid.
Stop.
All right, so
Just stop.
Andy smiled. He handed me his glove. He said, "I'm serving and it's 40, love." Well, I'm not the world's most passionate man. Why are you here, Renee Richards? We don't need you taking a verse. All right, so now that I've ruined everything, let's move on. So I'm at Snapchat, and if you want to straighten me out, if you want to say to me, hey, dude, that's not how it worked in tennis, go ahead and send me a note there. Send it to me on Instagram. Send me a photo of a net, and not a net funicello. I mean a tennis net. Or send me a photo of a net funicello with her bullet bikini, her big pointy boobs staring you in the face, with Frankie Avalon walking around looking like a clean-cut fella. Just a tan with a smile. Literally no skin. He was tan bones. That's what Frankie Avalon was. He was a skeleton.
That's true.
I think it's totally true. What are you talking? Why must you argue with my facts? Alternative or not, facts they are. Frankie Avalon was just a skeleton who was tanned with teeth. His bones were held together by melanin tan stuff. All right, so no skin on Avalon. No skin on my Avalon. That's like off my nose, but off my Avalon. I'm going to invent that now. That's my new phrase. No skin off my Avalon. All right, so.
It's going to be hard naming the show this week.
You know what? Save some of these titles. We'll use them on future weeks. When we're stuck for a title, we'll be, hey, what about No Skin Off My Avalon? I remember that. That was a great one. I remember it too. Renee Richards, stop now. No one needs to hear from you, damn it. Go hit a 100-mile-an-hour serve that no woman can return. You physical marvel. All right, so go be Dave's friend. Have him, if you want him to paint any of those people for you, have him do that. If you want him to paint Bobby Riggs, mouth fucking Renee Richards, there you go. Done.
I would love to see that request.
Go to artbydmh.com. That's artbydmh.com. You can also find our friend Ryan Dirks. He's the web dude. And he's got 15 weeks to do something or he's out on his ass. That seems harsh. Because I've not given him anything to do yet. What if he took it on himself to redo the website the way he thought it should be done? Ryan. Because he's a farmer. He brings life to this world. Are plants life, right? If you plant corn, you're technically giving life. I guess what I'm saying is Ryan Dirks is God. Ryan Dirks is God, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck Clapton right here, right now. That's what I say. Clapton, not God. Dirks is God. Dirks is God. The man brings corn into the world. There would be no corn without Dirks.
Dirks is God.
We must thank Dirks for corn. Thank you, Dirks. Dirks is God. So go to facebook.com/Ryan Dirks and tell him that. Be his friend and thank him for all the corn. Our great friend, Lily Von Stupp, is the producer of this show this week. She showed up to do some...
last week I'm taking no responsibility for that.
Very business like last week as she stayed home prim and proper,
Sick.
vomiting, head hurting.
Sick.
And then she came here today and brought Business Lily with her as I had to... this show, it could have been recorded in 20 minutes, but she was on her phone typing away some emails and kept delaying the process.
Wow, you're hysterical.
I like to...
You do.
Well, you're busy. That's the thing is you got a real life. This show graduated. Like, I mean, look, let's be honest. When we started this motherfucker, did we think you'd still be here in 9 years? You're like, I got business to take care of, dude. I got emails. I got connections. There's no way I thought one day a week would still be spent sitting in your fucking room listening to you yammer. That's what you were thinking back then.
Much
so now,
like the podcast, I assumed it would be done when it's done.
well, yeah, I mean, you just kind of talk until you're finished.
Right. I just assumed that I'll be here until the show is finished.
I know, but now I have to drive you home.
I don't know. We'll see.
I will.
We'll see.
She says, because it started out when it was light and there was sun, and now it's going to be dark soon.
Can't really drive it dark.
No, it's dark. Now it's dark. Oh, come on, Renee Richards. Nobody needs you doing a remake of Blue Velvet. What if she was? What if Renee Richards came back and she was Frank Booth in Blue Velvet, the stage play? First of all, I don't know why you're casting a zombie transsexual tennis player as your Frank Booth. It seems like there's a lot of actors who would be clamoring for that part.
Who played Frank Booth?
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. Yeah. I couldn't think of his name. I could pick.
I'll fuck anything that moves. Fucking awesome. You know the chicken walk? Blue Velvet's awesome. It's so great. There's a naked Imogene Coca in the bushes in that movie. No, there's not. There's a naked Isabella Rossellini in the bushes in that movie. Holy Jesus.
Wow, that is a whole different film.
Yeah, my brain went a little bananas there. I wasn't good at all. My brain went, actress. Ida Lupino. Nope. Imogene Coca. Yes. No. It wasn't Imogene Coca. Oh, Renee Richards, movie trivia expert. Where were you 48 seconds ago? A naked Imogene Coca emerges from the shrubs.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, to hug Kyle MacLachlan. All right, so, you know the chicken walk? All right, so anyway, there's Laura Dern. She's casting a jaundiced eye over at Imogene Coca. She doesn't trust her around her boyfriend. Hey, have you ever seen, well, we'll talk about this on the other side. Fuck that. Well, I will. You ever seen Mulholland Drive?
Yes.
Is it worth it? Because I saw the scene that everybody says is the scariest fucking scene, and I watched it and I go, that's not scary.
It is in the context of the film.
Well, his reaction is like fucking awesome. I mean, and also there is a lot of foreboding and dread in that coffee shop as they set it up. But then when it happens, it does not, to me, and again, because I was told that it was going to be the scariest fucking thing ever, it did not pay off the way I thought it should.
But again, I'm one of context is everything.
Indeed, and certainly within the case of a movie, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. If I see it in that context, certainly.
You should see it. It's definitely you should see.
All right,
absolutely.
All right. I'll put it on the list. It's on the list. But that happens all the time. Like I've been told the scenes depicting hell in Event Horizon are among the scariest ever filmed.
I've seen Event Horizon. I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's Lawrence Fishburne and Everybody in Space, right? Yeah. Maybe it was cut out because it was so brutal. That's why I was able to find it somewhere. But like where everybody's getting ass raped by aliens and they're screaming, their skin's being flayed off, and as they're like getting raped, they're getting eaten at the same time by other aliens. I mean, I saw it, and it was all quick cuts and shit like that. You know what? I'm actually thinking of The Sound of Music. All right, so.
Now that had some scary shit in it.
Oh my God,
there were Nazis in there.
Von Trapps, certainly. There's Nazis everywhere now. They've
always been everywhere. There's now out in the open.
Nazis a poppin'. That's what I call it. Nazis a poppin'. Instead of hell's a poppin', Nazis a poppin'. All right. So that's Lily Von Stupp. She's the producer of the show. We should probably get done with this and move on. You can find her all over the place. First of all, go to Facebook and be her friend because she needs friends over there now. Remember when she used to be full up and then Trump happened and she decided, hey, I'm going to stick up for the ladies in the world.
She's like for human rights.
All the ladies in the world.
Human rights.
All the Lily ladies. All the Lily ladies. All the Lily ladies. There you go. So she's sticking up for all of them, quite frankly. And I don't blame her, because there's a lot of dick bags out there. So if you want to be her friend, she's got room. As long as you're not a dick bag. I think we've drawn
I don't know that I have room, though.
Put that line in the sand. You do too. You get like 4,000 people. So you get like 1,000 friends you can have.
Yeah, but I would have to actually go through them and see who they are and vet them. And that takes a lot of time.
Will that be extreme vetting?
No.
Oh, all right. Do you have a Muslim ban on your friends list?
No, I have a lot of Muslims on my friends list.
It's not a ban. It's not a ban. That was the answer. The answer we were looking for is it's not a ban.
Except they said, literally the office said, we're going to rewrite the ban and issue a new executive order.
Lily, not a ban. Lily, not a ban.
Just all crazy.
So that's Lily Von Stupp. Be your friend at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp, please. She needs friends. Go ahead and, what was that other thing you do? Oh, yeah, she's available at Twitter. Yeah. You can follow her at several different Twitter accounts, twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, twitter.com/MNTs, twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, and twitter.com/BoobDini. But if you'd like to write her a personal note.
Oh, please do. And
find out when the barn doors will be coming that she ordered. You can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Woo!
At burlesque411. Oh, Renee Richards, stop! I delivered that line already.
Summer loving had me a blast. Summer loving happened so fast. I met a girl
He got friendly, holding my hand.
When she got friendly down in the sand.
He was sweet, just turned 18.
But she was good, you know what I mean. Summer heat, boy and girl meet. But all the summer night.
Tell me more, and let's go to this bed.
22:50.
She got me a friend.
It turned colder, that's where it ends.
So I told her we'd still be friends.
Then we made our true love vow.
Wonder what she's doing now. Summer dreams ripped at the seams. But
Oh,
those summer
here is your soup.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the Three Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica, a venue I've been known to haunt on occasion. Yeah, that's right. I throw a sheet over me, and then I throw some glasses on me.
Please don't show up with a sheet on.
I have a sheet on, I have glasses on, and then PJ Souls sits up in bed and says, "I must have really gotten your ghost, Bob," and then I choke her to death.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's how I like to do it when I wear my sheet. So, folks, that's available when you go to the Monday Night Teas every Monday night. Every Monday night, that's right. And look around this town. Shit's opening and closing all the goddamn time. There's one constant in time and space. The Monday Night Teas. I happen to know the producer of that show, as a matter of fact. I just stepped on her woohoo, and I did not mean to do that.
Woo, that's me.
I'm a habitual woohoo stepper. But that's how I do things. You like my Batman pad of paper?
I kind of do. I want to steal it, but I think it's like not worth it.
It's actually got notes in it. Let's just do this.
No,
let's
it's not.
let's read the notes in the Batman one. Let's take a look. Hey, look, it's the Hip Bone Studio in Portland, where I did my show in Portland, my first show. It's the Dangerous Theater in Denver. And then here's a listing of Andy Dick, Aubrey O'Day, Kevin Smith, Adam Carolla, the Sklar Brothers, and Longshot Podcast. I don't know why those are written down. Here's a phone number for Larry Wasserman. Here's a phone number for Anna Borsagian. And then here's a set list from an old comedy show. Target, Walmart, urban radio stations, Valley Dry Cleaners. What are you
I'm
doing?
sorry.
You've got the Legion of Doom
I
pad?
have a question about the Legion of Doom pad.
Oh, no.
Title reads Nativity Scene, and there's a line under it.
Yes.
Underneath it, it says,
Now, let's real quick tell people. These are things I've written. She's opening pads of paper that I have on my desk that just have stuff written in them. She doesn't know what it is.
Nativity Scene.
Yes.
He's the kind of guy who chews aspirin because he thinks it works faster.
Yes. Okay, what?
Who's the kind of guy? Jesus?
No, that was a no. That's why there's a line underneath Nativity Scene, because those two thoughts do not connect.
No, they do not.
They do not
I
intersect.
Thought that was a title.
No. Nativity Scene. That was probably the Nativity Scene a bit I used to do when I was a very young comedian. And then there was that was an idea I had. I was like when I'll say stuff like I called Adam Lambert a walking eyelash, or I said Trump is like a theater floor in a suit. That's the same kind of thing. He's the kind of guy who chews aspirin because he thinks it makes it work. It works faster.
Okay, what is this? XQ73 capital P small q. Oh, that's probably a passcode.
Probably. I was going to let you finish, and then change it immediately. But good for you.
Oops.
Yeah. Well, I like to keep all of. Look, if you rob my house, please know all of my passwords are in my Legion of Doom pad.
I didn't mean to spice that out.
That's all right. Oh, spicy. Let's write the same joke again 2 weeks in a row.
Why do they call him spicy?
Because it's funny that she called him spicy. It's funny that
I
she.
don't think that is funny.
I think it's very funny because she does him. He's referring to himself as spicy, like he gave himself a nickname. That's how much of a fucking lame fuck he is. I liked it. I thought it was.
Get that.
I thought it was a great.
Okay.
It's a great choice.
I didn't get that.
Because he would call himself spicy. You know what I mean? It's just that's how fucking dumb he is. It's like my friend Graham used to do the bit about because his, Graham called me Cobra,
Right.
and it was just he'd be like, no man, call me Cobra, and they'd be like, all right, Graham, no man, Cobra strikes. It was just fucking Graham is hysterical. Gun. All right, so goddamn Graham makes me laugh. So anyway, hi. The Monday Night Tease is functioning all the time with Lily and her beautiful short haircut. And last night she was.
You made me laugh last night.
Well, in your outfit, the way you looked. Well, I liked how you looked. I was not kidding at all. All right, we'll get to this in a second. Before her performance in the Monday Night Tease, she showed up and she had her Monday Night Tease head on. So from the
Yes, I
neck
did.
up, she was like crazy big red wig and like a lot of makeup and the eyelashes. But then she had jeans and a t-shirt on, and it was sexy as fuck. I mean, it looked really good. Seriously, I wasn't kidding.
Seems so weird.
No, because it's I don't know. It's an attitude. Don't fucking ask me. I'm an idiot. But you look good. You look really good, I thought.
you.
Sure. And when you put on your costume, then of course it's like va 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 voom. But with just the fucking jeans and t-shirt, yeah, forget it.
Boom.
Oh yeah, exactly. So the Monday Night Tease exists. And how did last night's show go, Lily Von Stubb?
It was delightful.
Yes?
It was delicious. It was lovely.
Oh, Jeffrey Holder was there?
Yes.
Well, it sounds like it was fantastic and all of those things. Who were the performer pipe people?
Nikita Bitch Project.
NBP?
She did her Goonies act, which always makes me laugh. She strips his data.
Never saw the Goonies.
It's okay.
Not kidding. I had to look up who Chunk was. I had to Google it. I don't know what I missed that year. I must have been seeing like Gremlins for the 10th time. I just had no interest in Goonies. Didn't mean anything to me. I liked Short Round.
They're
I was a
good
fan.
enough.
They think they're good
They're
enough.
good enough for me.
That was not my deal. And so,
Anyway,
like I said,
she
so
did
I
that.
didn't know what the Truffle Shuffle was. I had to look it up. I had to look up Chunk. Thank God for Google. They should have called it Goonie Google.
Goonie.
That's fucking Eddie Murphy, isn't it? Right? Yeah, Goonie
Goonie
Google.
Goo. Who else performed? Bella performed. I performed. Who else performed? Bella performed. I performed. Rob did his beautiful fan dance. It's just gorgeous.
Was there an African American lady involved?
Yeah, Carmel Knowledge.
Carmel Knowledge
she
showed
did
up?
A belly dance number. She
Okay.
did a show in belly dance.
She was the only African American woman involved?
Yeah.
I thought I saw another woman heading toward the back. Perhaps that person.
And then Leggy Lass Greenleaf performed as well.
Leggy Lass Greenleaf?
Leggy Lass, as in
Leggy
Irish
Lass.
Leggy Lass
Okay.
Greenleaf. Yeah.
Okay.
She's
All right.
an adorable little contortionist ballerina. Just, yeah. She does drop splits. It's pretty impressive.
Can she go down on herself?
I did not ask. I can ask her and get back to you.
That's a good idea. Yeah,
Okay,
check in.
yeah,
Because it's funny. I was just gonna say I could ask her, but it's probably best if you go
Best if I do,
first.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
Bella, of course, performed because it was her birthday.
yeah, happy birthday,
Okay.
Bella.
Chocolate cupcakes for everybody, and it was so
Well, our good friend Jim brought cookies for me last night too,
Yes,
which is
he brought snickerdoodles this week.
he's a
It was
very nice
delicious.
person. So the Monday Night Tease was a fabulous success last night. It did very well, and it's always out there if you want to buy tickets at brownpapertickets.com. Go to that site. Go now. I compel you. Go get tickets, Renee. Go pick those tickets up. I love that. I love that me yelling is Renee Richards.
MondayNightTees.com.
MondayNightTees.com has all the information you're going to need. If you go to Facebook.com/MondayNightTees and like the page, you'll see all the ladies that are coming and all the labias you can touch.
And
So,
you know what else? You don't get to touch the labies. Do you know what else you go
What?
find there when you find there? Not only do you find the Monday Night Teas, but you also find the early shows.
well, there are early shows that involve themselves in Monday Night, and because you're quite the producer. You're someone who's getting a lot of things done. You'll have a Velvet Tom Cabaret there. Is that the last Sunday or last Monday of the month?
Yeah.
They're terrific. And do you have the Bordello? Is that happening?
Babylon Cabaret.
Babylon Cabaret is there. They're also the second or the first Monday of the month.
Yeah.
Yes, and the third Monday of the month. Now that we talk about it, is a show called 2020,
Yep.
which is a comedy show. I wanted to say something before that. Before I get into 2020, just write down website or remind me website because I got to ask you about a website. 2020, first of all, has done it again. Certainly, we did the show last night. And it was me, and there was supposed to be the very funny Pamela Walt joining us at last night's show. Unfortunately, here's how I work things. You know me, I'm not a promoter. I'm not a professional in any way, shape, or form. So I contact these people and I try to book them, and it's weird for me to contact people to book because I'm trying to get myself booked, man. I said in a fake cornpone accent. But I was lucky enough to know that I had the very funny Chris Fairbanks on the line for last night. I was going to have him. So I needed to find myself another performer, and I reached out to a Pamela Walt, who then said, yes, absolutely, I would love to do it. I said, congratulations, thank you. But when I did that, because let's put it this way, I'm going to Kuwait this coming Monday. The show was it's because it's the third Monday of every month. So the show was supposed to be 2:20. Well, then we bumped it up to 2:13. So I made that arrangement with Chris Fairbanks, and then I sent an email to Pamela Walt to book her. And I said, would you like to, I said this on February 9th. And I said, would you like to do the show next Monday, February 20th?
Oh, that's the boo-boo.
And she said, because I cut and pasted it. You know what I mean? And I changed one thing but didn't change the other. And she said, oh my God, yes, absolutely, thank you. I'm really excited. I said, great. So then last night at about 5:15, I sent an email to Chris and an email to Pamela and said, hey, just touching base. We'll see you tonight in a couple hours. And Chris wrote, yes, thanks, man. Happy to be there. And then later told me, I'm glad you sent that email because I had no fucking idea this was tonight. I thought it was next week. And I was like, okay. Pamela, however, did not answer me. I should say it was 4:15, I think I sent those out. And she didn't answer me for like 45 minutes. And then finally, she wrote and said, I thought it was the 20th. Yeah, my email says the 20th. Hello? What's going on? Because I wasn't answering her. It was all coming into my Facebook quick. And finally, I was able to pay attention. And I wrote, I might have screwed this up. And then I went and looked and I saw that I did. And I said, look, I'm really sorry. I wrote next Friday the 20th, meaning next Monday, whatever. And I said, is there any way you can come do it tonight? She said, I can't. I literally woke up out of a fever sleep to answer your text. And I said, oh, okay. And she said, and I said, well, let me know. And she said, no, it's going to be better for you to get somebody else. I said, great. She said, would there be a way I could do the next one? I said, fuck yes. I mean, like, because it's my fault. It's my mistake. So Pamela will be joining us on March 20th. But I was in a lurch. It instead of 2020, it almost became 30-30. Which would have been me and Chris up there just knocking it out, which would have been a good show as well. But instead, I was lucky enough to text friend of the show, not only of 2020, but friend of this show, the friendly and talented Riley Silverman.
Awesome.
To see if she was available. And I texted her right away and I said, listen, this is a fucking last minute deal. Would you be interested in doing my show tonight at the 3 Clubs? Because she was one of our first comics. Her and Graham were on the opening night with me.
She was awesome.
And she texted me back immediately. She's like, because I feel bad contacting people all the time. Like I'm bothering them. Like, would you want to do a show?
Yeah, it's terrible to bother people with work.
It's ridiculous. I know it's a stupid thing, but I always feel odd about it. And Riley wrote me back, I think in 9 seconds and just went, yes, I would love to. It's been so long since I've done a longer set. I'm excited to do it. I said, great. See you tonight. You know the drill, 7:30. And she showed up and she fucking killed it. And then Chris went up. I went up first and
killed it.
I talked.
You were good.
I was very good last night, certainly.
You were funny. I liked the topics.
Plenty. Why do you mock? I don't understand it, but that's fine.
I don't mock.
There was so many
2.5
topics.
hours before the show started.
Topics of flying. So I did those topics. And then I brought up Riley and she did very well. And then I brought up Chris Fairbanks and I sat down and did not stop laughing for 22 minutes. He is Chris. If you don't know who Chris Fairbanks is, learn yourself. You better call somebody. Because he is a fucking machine, and he's like Bill Dwyer. He's like one of those. Cause look, I always talk about Jimmy and these guys that are great, and my friends, and Mike and Chris and Bill Dwyer are those dudes who, if you walked into a club and didn't know who they were, you'd leave just going, I got to find out everything about that guy. That is a funny motherfucker. And Chris Fairbanks is just that dude, man. He killed me. He had me from the jump, and I laughed and laughed and fucking laughed. And then could not have been more gracious, could not have been more professional. It was nice to me. He told me he thought I was funny, and I'm not telling you that for an ego stroke. It was just nice for him to say so. And then he got home and he wrote me and said, thank you for having me. I mean, just really cool and a nice guy. I'm always thrilled when talented, successful people are also nice and professional. And Chris was all of that. Riley, however, fuck that person.
She's awesome.
She didn't write me a thank you, whatever. No, but she was, again, bailed us out of a real jam. So I was glad to have Riley and Chris. We're going to start promoting this show a lot more because I'm enjoying it. And I'm trying to get Lily on board into the promoting part because I'm bad at it and she's going to jump in. That show? You want to do that now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, I did not know this was official. It was a discussion that has now turned into a fact.
Yep.
But we are now going to do 2020 twice a month. the second Monday and the third Monday.
Yep.
So it'll be back-to-back weeks. And I'm excited for that because I'm starting to feel like a comedian again. And I think doing more days like that will be good. It'll give me an opportunity to book more people that I like and more people I've never seen. Because I'm finding now I'm starting to get people who go, hey, can I do your show? I heard about it from this person. So it's awkward. I won't lie. It's strange booking a show, but I think comics would welcome the opportunity to do a longer set. That was the whole idea of it in the first place. And I've tapped into my friends, but now I'll reach out to other people and try to get some hitters in there and make it funny. But so now March 13th and March 20th, we're doing
we got
shows.
2 shows in March.
I know I'll be on both of those, and I know Pamela Walt will be on one. I'll give her the choice. She can be on the 13th or the 20th, whichever one she wants, and then I will book accordingly around those people, and we'll have very funny people doing 2020 2 nights a month now, the second Monday and the third Monday, and I'm very excited about that because, again, like I said, last night I felt like a comic, and I think I told you, or no, did I do... Yeah, I talked about Monday Night Teas. Yeah, I talked about it on the show last week, right? Because that really made me feel like a comic. Because I was worried going up.
Killed.
I did. I won't lie.
You were like, I don't know if they really want to have comedy, and I'm like,
Well, I never-
would not. Again, I said the thing that a producer is supposed to say, which is true. I know my audience, and I would not set someone up to fail.
Yes, but it's a different kind of. You know, I try to be a storyteller guy or work a little bit like that, and so they want blue and they want fast and they want naked girls.
But
So
you told the perfect.
well, I told a
tale.
blue story. Why? Because I went, well, this is the room, so let's do this. And but again, on the fly. Like I didn't, you know what I mean? I was like, I tied those together like on the fly, just like last night. I didn't know what I was going to talk about when I went up, and then what happened. So, but I need to be more prepared than that, and I need to have actual sets. That would be great. Something along the lines of nativity scene.
I'm looking forward to it.
Or the guy who chews aspirin because he thinks it works faster. He's the kind of guy who chews aspirin because he thinks it works faster. There's a reason that never made it out of the Legion of Doom, Pat. All right.
I would imagine the Legion of Doom would let it out.
They fought it. They blockaded it. But that happens all the time. I mean, I'll find scraps. I told you I'll find tons of scraps of paper with just a note on it. I told the famous story is I woke up one day and the pad of paper next to my bed said Nostradamus and the stock market. I don't know. I had no idea. But I woke up in the middle of the night and I wrote it down. Which is even weirder because I had my microcassette recorder on the bed next to me, on the table next to me. But I grabbed the pad of paper and wrote that down instead of speaking it into the tape. I don't get
What
it.
if you didn't write it?
Someone came and copied my handwriting. No, I would. What if it was the worst Conjuring movie ever? Just some guy who wrote inadequate comedy premises on a fucking tableside notepad. Oh, ooh, scary. So 2020, 2 times a month now. So I tell you what, 40, 40, 40. Let's call it that. Let's just do that. So that's there. Monday Night Teas is happening. This is a lot of plugs about Mondays. And you know what's weird about that? I don't like Mondays usually. And I know what you're thinking. Tell me why. Well, it's because I want to shoot the whole day down. Seriously. Because I want to do the whole song now.
I love that song so
God,
much,
it's
by the way.
I would hear that song. You know, Steve Dahl would play it in Chicago, and he would play it whenever there was any sort of shooting or school thing or anything to have to do. He would just play it, and at the time I didn't get it. You know, I was fucking 12 or whatever.
Because you didn't know what it was about.
Right, and then when you listen to the lyrics, you go, oh, okay. You can see no reasons because there are no reasons. What reason do you need to be shown? Tell me why. All right, I fucking love that song. God damn it. You'll hear songs that you haven't heard in a long time and you go, oh, I'm going to jump out of my skin for that fucking tune. And that's one of them. I love it. Up all night. Up all night. Renee, do not cover the Boomtown Rats. All right, so that's all existing shows. Go see them. They're fantastic. People love them. Website. I want to tell people this. Signmyboobs.com. Still up and active.
It's still up. It's not active. It hasn't been updated in forever.
But still
All
up.
the ads are off it, but it's up.
Okay. Well, because every once in a while I think it's fun to remind people that you did that.
The internet exists
Yeah.
for things that are terrible.
So you have a signmyboobs.com and there's photos of famous people signing your boobs,
And
which
some not so famous.
exactly, I thought of it the other day and it made me laugh because I went that fucking exists. Because I thought of bookmeforyourwake.com, which I don't think exists still.
No, we finally
We let it
changed that.
lapse, yeah. Which is too bad because then in all this YouTube stuff with us putting up the YouTube channel, he's putting up the liner notes for every episode. And in the episode where we introduced the bookmeforyourwake.com, I mentioned in the liner notes that you actually bought the domain and we created the site while I was on the air. And I said, and in the liner notes I wrote, so know now that my internet foolishness will outlive you and your children. That's a solid thought, or whatever the fuck I wrote in the liner notes. But then I realized, well, we probably let that lapse. I'm sure bookmeforyourwake.com is gone, which is too bad because I was just waiting for one person to reach out and take it, as Cheap Trick would tell you in the Heavy Metal movie.
I'm sure it's still on my server.
Bookmeforyourwake.com. It's not that important, but I'm just saying.
It's not up anymore. We let it lapse. I think we finally went. We've spent $100 on this joke. Let's stop
This is
now.
one expensive joke. But who knows? Maybe has the internet gone down in price now? Perhaps I'll purchase it again.
I don't know.
Anyway, our great friend Lily Von Stupp has signmyboobs.com. Go check her out, getting her boobs signed by dignitaries, foreign and national alike.
Well, the best one on there is Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons is clearly the winner. Yes, in my opinion. I went and saw Ace Frehley. Did I talk about that? I don't know if I did. Me and Pat Francis and Kyle Dodson from the Rock Solid podcast. No, stop your nonsense. Dude, here's the thing. They announced that show in like November. Okay. And it was January 29th. The second it came to my email, I wrote it to Pat and I went, listen, you're not getting out of this. Because Pat I used to be Pat's concert buddy. I used to be the guy who tagged along with him and I would go out and we'd wait for autographs and all that kind of stuff. But now he's got his nephew Kyle, because Kyle produces the podcast anyway. So Kyle's involved and Kyle goes out on these stakeouts and I used to love doing it, but this is not me being a baby, but I'm never asked anymore because he's got other people to go do those things. It's the truth. I mean, because he gets these free, there you go. Oh, that's you from Sign My Boobs.
I'm sorry, I haven't been on this site in forever.
Well, that's why I want to remind people that it exists. I think it's funny.
I'm sorry, keep talking.
That's
about
okay.
Ace Frehley. I'm listening.
No, I saw you thumbing through. Hey, look, it's your tits. Why wouldn't you look at
I
it?
just looked down at the list of everybody and I'm like, who's it? And I was like, oh yeah, Louis Black. Fuck.
That's what I mean. I want people to go signmyboobs.com because it's like, again,
It is a time capsule of like 2 years.
You are a
It's
time
weird.
capsule. I'm fascinated by your life. I've talked about this before. Anytime like a Polaroid comes up of you with Roger Daltrey or whatever the fuck, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I
can't wait to post the picture of me and Norman Lear.
You're so much more than one Monday Night Burlesque show and 5 rape stories. You're so much more than that.
2 rape stories.
All right, 2 rape stories.
2 rape stories.
So I mean, that's what I mean. Is there's the signmyboobs.com, and there's I know for a fact some of your fun stories, and it always makes me laugh because it's like I mean, both of us are now broken down old people, but you and people know what I've done because they've heard it on this fucking show over and over. But you have lived this ridiculous life too. You just choose to kind of keep it on a shelf. Yeah.
It's been pretty silly.
Which is great. So go to signmyboobs.com and look
Keep
at
talking
Lily's
about it.
past.
So you went.
Well, I went. It was great. I dug it. I mean, it was really fun. So the second that came out, I wrote Pat. I was like, fuck that. We're going. You cannot. I mean, I'm not getting out of this. You're not getting out of this. Because he always brings Kyle to these things now when they go hunt for auto, because he gets himself in a +1. And I was willing to buy tickets. I was like, I don't give a fuck. We're going. And then he was able to get a +2. So Kyle went. Me, him, and Kyle. And they're from the Rock Solid podcast, and Kyle likes Kiss. Likes to make fun of Kiss, certainly. And then he had another guy meet us there, too, another buddy of his. But it was fucking...
So it was +3?
I don't know if he got him in. But, there was certainly, he was Pat +3. I don't know if they all got in, though. But we watched the show. It was fucking great. It was so fun. Because I hadn't been out of the house in fucking forever. So it was nice to go out and go to a show and have fun. Because I did that. I've made myself leave the house a couple of times. Like, I went to that concert, and it was so great. Ace... He was just as silly and goofy as you would think, but the music was great, and they had the guitar, the drummer sang instead of Ace singing everything, which was good. The drummer sang the Paul Stanley stuff, and Fake Enough's Enough was there. It was a really good time. We had a great show. And then I went and saw John Wick. I went and saw John Wick 2.
movie?
Yeah. I don't want to spoil.
Boogaloo?
Huh? It was
John Wick 2 or Electric Boogaloo?
Electric Baba Yaga, actually. So that's not bad, honestly, folks. If you don't consider me the best, consider again. I can't spoil it. I don't want to spoil alert it, but I'll tell you what, if you've seen it, I want to talk about it with everybody, because even John, like my trainer, hasn't seen it. I'm like, today I went to the gym and I am fucking sore as fuck. Because we're doing slow gym now.
Slow gym.
Yeah. I have to go in there. I read at a 2nd grade level and then I spill water on myself.
So why are you now at a slow gym?
That's slow gym. Well, he and I work out at the gym by my house, which is also, that's the heavy gym, you know what I mean, where you just do that. But he works as a trainer for another gym where they use slow techniques.
Oh, okay.
So instead of like doing, bam, 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 you go like this, like really slow, and you hold it for 5 seconds and then back. I mean, it's fucking hard,
Now, does
dude.
that build bulk more than the lower weight repetition?
I have not exactly asked him what it does yet. I know it makes me not walk well. I know that because we did legs. We did legs last week and this week. And even, I've been doing, because I leg press a ton at the fucking regular gym. And I can be sore, but my body's kind of gotten acclimated to doing it. And even if we do fucking 8 sets of increasingly larger weight, winding up with like 4 sets of 600 each or whatever, the slow gym is infinitely harder because you're just, I'm doing, it's my body weight plus, I think it was like 300 pounds. So essentially 600 pounds and going slow, up and just fucking, and you just go to failure. There's no reps. You just go till you can't push it anymore. And we did that. And today I went up doing the ab machine and I stood up and I had ab cramps. I had to lay flat on my stomach in the gym and like wait for them to go away. And I'm like, are we done? Because I didn't want to be done. He's like, no, we're done. You can't, if that's happening, you can't deal with it. Because I've let my body fall into disrepair and now it's haunted by ghosts. So I need to fix it, unfortunately. So I saw John Wick 2, and it's the kind of movie you want to see with a crowd. I will tell all of you that right now.
I didn't see John Wick 1.
You need to. Absolutely.
Because if I go see John Wick 2, I won't know what's happening.
Here's the way I will explain it to somebody else who asked me that same question. If you want to know why everything's happening and what the story is, you need to see John Wick 1. If you just want to see a badass action movie with a bunch of people getting shot and fucking crazy stuff happening,
Spoiler!
you can. I'm not spoiling anything for John Wick. Then you can just see John Wick 2. But I would recommend seeing them both.
John Wick?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I thought you were kidding.
No, I've never
Oh, no,
seen
that
it.
was-
I never knew the first one was out.
That was the ad
John
campaign.
Wick 2, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
That was the ad campaign.
Oh, that's hysterical.
I swear to
literally don't
God,
know
the
who
posters would say, "Who is John Wick?" That's what I thought you had no.
No, I was like making a John Galt joke. Seriously, like
No.
who is this John Wick? Because I never saw the first one.
All right, there's gonna be
Is
some.
it based on a book?
Here's some spoilers I will say
Wait,
right
is
now.
it based on a book?
No. Here's spoilers I will say right now. Keanu Reeves is John Wick. John Wick is a guy who's he winds up losing his wife.
In the first one.
Yeah, he's a guy who gets married, and then unfortunately she winds up getting sick and passes away. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. So John Wick is a widow.
John Wick is a widow, unfortunately. And I don't want,
Okay.
there's a lot more I could tell you. And honestly, if you want to fucking watch it, we'll finish and I'll watch it right the fuck now.
It's Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Thank you, but
John
I
Wick.
have a boyfriend at home that's waiting for
Then
me.
he can come over and watch it too. Tell him I got
No.
popcorn.
No.
Wick. But yes, John Wick is one of those movies that I did not see at the movie theater. And I kept hearing about it. I had to see it. I one day they had an HBO weekend for free, and it was on. So I DVR'd it, and I just left it on my playlist. I never watched it. And John, my trainer, would always go, "Did you watch John Wick yet? What the fuck? Did you watch John Wick yet?" So then finally Christmas weekend, I was home the 24th and 25th after the kid puked in my car. I said, well, fuck this. I'll watch John Wick. And I was like, you motherfucker, why did you not watch this? So then John Wick 2 was coming out. And I got an email from the ArcLight, and it said tickets on sale now. I bought one immediately. I bought it right away for opening night because I knew it would be crazy busy. And I went and saw it this week, and it was fucking great. I would love to talk about it and
How
nitpick
is
the shit out of it.
in comparison to like Tarantino violence?
It's ridiculously violent, but it's not like mental violence. Like Tarantino assaults your senses as well as bad things happening.
So is it like what's his face?
Tarantino will watch you he'll show you one guy sweating what's going to happen over 6 minutes, and then a bad thing will happen to him. John Wick will show you 40 people killed in 90 seconds.
Okay.
It's just I can't explain it, and I don't want to tell you any more than
Okay.
that. But it's just the fucking greatest. I mean, I'm mad, eternally mad now I didn't see John Wick 1 in the theater. There's those movies that you didn't see in the theater and you're just
Don't
like,
worry, I'm
God
sure
damn it.
somebody will be doing a double feature.
I cannot. Well, I'll watch it immediately. I'll just stare. It'll be fucking perfect. But I left the theater, and that was fun to go to. I went to the theater and I acted like a jerk. You know what I did? I went there and I fucking. I'll tell this because this happened. I bought like a sausage and a hot dog. Like I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna go to the theater. I'm gonna totally play it up. I was gonna get popcorn too. I was just so hungry. And then I inhaled them. I fucking wolfed them. It was a mango habanero sausage, and then with a watermelon barbecue sauce, and then a hot dog. And
Why are you mixing your fruit and salad with your hot dog?
and then I bought raisinets and peanut M&Ms, and I dumped them in a thing, and I mixed them all together. Like, it was just terrible. And I didn't even finish those. I was like, I can't even eat this candy. But when I was sitting there waiting for the movie to start, the first showing let out, because I was seeing the midnight showing. So a showing let out, and there was like 10 people within earshot discussing the film. And started to talk about, well, in the first one, but I could not hear it, but they were within earshot, but I could hear like mumble, mumble, wick, mumble, 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 dog. I mean, whatever the fuck. And I was like, and in my head, I'm like, I go, if they spoil this, see, now, oh fuck, I can't say what I said because then it'll be a spoiler for you. All right, I can't do it. Forget my joke. Write me and I'll tell you what I said. Because I literally walked over to the group of people. I said, listen, I'm seeing the midnight show, and if you guys spoil anything, and then I said something that would be appropriate for John Wick. All right, so.
And did they all laugh?
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a joke. It was because I was completely unthreatening. I'm in a hoodie and shorts. It wasn't like I was like a mean guy. For me, it was. I got a big fat hoodie on. I had my glasses on, so I'm like, I have to tell you this.
How are your glasses working?
I keep forgetting them. I keep forgetting my glasses on the table. That's my Michael McDonald. That's not bad. I keep forgetting to bring my glasses on drives. No, I drove with, I mean, I don't leave the house ever. What the fuck? I watch TV with them. They look good.
Good.
But you know what's funny? Because I can read shit close up. And when I put my glasses on, blurry.
Yeah,
I can't read
it's not
it.
made for close-up.
Well, then fuck them. Fix my glasses. I want them to I want to get me glasses to do both.
Then you need to get bifocals that are clear at the bottom and your prescription at the top.
Tried that when I was 9. Didn't care for it.
Yeah, bifocals bite. I hate them. That's why I have 2 pairs of glasses and can't fucking see.
That's why I call them bifocals.
Bifocals. So anyway.
You can go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. There's a website there. It's got a page with stuff. That's after you're going to signmyboobs.com and then ruining your keyboard. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and there's a look, you can donate to the show in the upper left-hand corner. There's a little donation guy. And then on the Joe Business page, that's right, the Joe Business page, you can go ahead and check out all the cool things we have for sale. We've got, of course, tweakedaudio.com. The code there is 40YOB. We've got downloads for sale. We've got T-shirts. We've got all sorts of stuff over there for you. But the important thing right now, it's not the important thing. Everything's important. If you want to buy download sets, we're like our friend Nick. Here's our friend Nick. He bought Year 5. He buys it, and then like 2 days later, he's like, hey, in episode 47 of Year 5, I'm like, Nick, what the fuck are you doing, man? Wow. Good for him. Oh, I don't think so. I think he's going straight forward. So I sent Nick Year 5, and then he wrote me, and this was funny. This was an episode I did where there was a song, and I said, there's a song where the guy goes, baby, baby. And I said, I don't know what it is. And remember the next week, like a bunch of people wrote me with what it was, which was astonishing. So Nick, because he's behind, but he listens, he goes, hey, if nobody ever told you what that was, it's the baby song is When Worlds Collide by Power Man, whatever the fuck. And I wanted to write him back and just go, you haven't listened to episode 48 yet, have you, Nick? Because I mentioned my astonishment how everybody knew what the fuck that song was off 2 words. So the download sets are available there for sale. You can buy those and tote them all over the place. Bring them home if you want. Bring them all over the world. All around the world, around the world, around the world. Renee! So that stuff's available at Joe Business page. Buy it all. Bring it home. But use the Amazon link. That's cool. If you buy the Amazon link, here's how it works. They get money. We get money. You get stuff.
Woo-hoo!
Holy God, is that cool. So you can get all sorts of neat stuff there at Amazon. Like our friend who was should I look him up? I had a friend who wrote me and he's like, dude, I totally used your Amazon link. Let's find out what his name is. Perhaps it's Bingo was his name-o? I don't think it was. But that's okay. Oh, damn it. It's on the other page. That is our good friend, Matt. Hi, Matt P. I don't want to say your name, But he bought some vinyl on there. Ooh, some vinyl. He was like, hey, I bought some cool vinyl. And I was like, I don't want to hear about your bodysuit. But I'm sure he meant albums or records, perhaps. So good for him. But thank you, Matt, for using our Amazon link. And thank you for everybody else who uses it and contributes to the show where we get money, you get stuff, and they get money. God damn it. We get money, they get money, you get stuff. That's how it goes. So please use our Amazon link. What you do is you click on that, and then you get through. It's the netherworld of the 40-year-old boy store where there's things you might want to buy. But if you don't, click through to regular Amazon and then do all your shopping there and buy some vinyl like our friend Matt. And you'll get that. We get money, they get money. You get stuff. It works out perfectly for everybody. So please use our Amazon link. Also, please remember we have a sponsor of the show, a real human sponsor, not just a robot like Amazon. We have a human sponsor by the name of Jerome. No, actually, it's Jesse. Now Jerome. Yes.
Did you see that?
We'll talk about that on the way out, perhaps.
Okay.
You can go to getthebutters.com. And you can hear right now crinkling in the background. That's Lily grabbing some stuff. What do you got there, Lily?
Styling pomade, cocoa butter and beeswax.
There you go.
Are you gonna use this?
What I have right here is the original cocoa butter and raw honey lotion. That's what I've got in my hand. Remember, he sent us this big package last week of a bunch of cool stuff, and it's still on my desk because I wanted Lily to take her pick and take some stuff away because I didn't want to just hog it all myself, so I didn't want to open it. I wanted to make sure that she's able to get whatever she needs or wants out of this.
Open this and put it on and tell me what it feels like.
Okay, I guess I have to open something and put it on.
Cocoa butter lotion.
Well, there's two of these, right? I think so. Hold on.
The other one is
Whoa. All right, it's got
this
an
one is
interesting.
pomade.
Whoa, this is like a funky lotion. Okay.
Cocoa butter and honey.
Okay. It's interesting. Oh my God, it's really nice. It's really smooth and slides all over you. That's pretty cool. I guess that's what lotion does, right? It's smooth and it slides all over you. Okay.
That's what cocoa butter does.
And is that scented? Too scented for you?
No, it's not too scented for me.
All right, then perhaps you should take it. Here you go. Here's your lid. Because again, Lily and I were divvying up the spoils of war, the spoils of Jerome's war, the spoils of the Butters war. And we have them here on my desk. Now, getthebutters.com. Use the code
I
40YOB.
feel my skin right there. That feels really nice.
Ooh, yeah. Although, I mean, I think your areola is supposed to feel like that.
That's not my areola. This is body butter.
There's the body butter. You can open that and crack that open. See, last week I just opened up a package and I put them all in here, but Lily's here. She's going to open up every fucking thing. Good for her.
Well, that's what there's their trials.
Of course. Well, go to getthebutters.com and use some neat stuff. Now she's putting some stuff on her arm that was amazing. Balms and butters and bombs, oh my, and lubes as well. Don't forget.
Smell that.
I will smell it right now. Ooh, it's Wild Hyacinth, I think, from number 7 body butter. Go ahead and get that.
Number 7.
It's the number 7.
Number 7.
It smells like a fat guy who died eating spaghetti. So go ahead and pick that up.
Not.
Oh, I apologize. That is a different 7.
And that feels really nice too. What else is there?
Well, there's powder. This is the moisturizer, shea butter and aloe vera.
What is that thing that? Oh, okay.
It's got a lip on it, right? Like a weird lip. It looks like it has a soap included or something.
No, it's a note that has like contents and stuff.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a
Shea
directional.
butter and aloe vera. This would be good for my bruised knees when I do stripper jobs.
Getthebutters.com. You can buy all of these. You can take them home. You can do these things and rub them on your knees after you do stripper drops I just heard of. You can massage your thighs. You can put it on your chest, put it on your neck. Those are body parts, and that's where stuff goes. Yeah, I guess you are. Good Lord. What's that one you just opened?
This is the coffee and
Sea salt facial scrub.
Facial scrub.
I had my eyes on that from the jump. I will not lie.
Wow.
Yeah, coffee and sea salt facial scrub. Is it crunchy?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I think I want to put that on me. Oh, look out! Drop the
I
lid.
have to rinse this off so I don't get coffee.
All right. Well, then I will tell people more about getthebutters.com. These are available. There's powders, there's lotions, there's bombs, there's balms, there's butters. Oh my! Grab them and bring them home, please. They're fantastic.
This is really awesome.
It is. It was really nice of Jerome to hook us up. Use the code 40YOB for all of this neat stuff, and you can have it in your house. And you know what? Send photos or videos of you rubbing it on yourself and to Lily. She would be very excited at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lili at burlesque411.com. Send her videos of you rubbing lotion on yourself. That's why she's in this business. She's going to say it's for the money, but incorrect. I know she's here for the lotion videos from strangers. There's a towel right there, right in front of you. Right there in the dish drain, right there.
I was looking for a paper towel.
Oh, no paper towels.
Why not?
Because I'm not an animal.
Okay.
I use
This is
cloth 'cause
also
I'm a
good.
grown-up.
This might have some of the butter on it for my
That's
crunchy.
okay. I mean, it's fine.
Don't dry your dishes with it.
Well, I know I use that towel when I jerk off. So go ahead and just put that down.
Well, that explains why it says crunchy is the coffee.
No, I don't shoot into it. I clean up after. It's
Feel
got
my
the
hand right now
lotion.
where I did the scrub on it.
Ooh.
That's some serious.
Some nice stuff. Thank you, Jerome, at getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YO.
Horrible.
Ooh,
Horrible.
that
hand.
hurts. That actually hurts. Wait a minute. Does that still have the coffee and sea salt scrub on it?
No,
because that's a
just my
crunchy
normal
ass hand.
skin. Ugh.
Ooh, boy, you lizard. That's
Get the butters.
getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YOB. Buy balms and butters and bombs, all that cool stuff, powders, lubes. Please take it all and bring it all home. So that's that. And also, please remember this. The 40-Year-Old Boy YouTube channel is out and about. It is ready to be consumed by you. Everyday superfan Gio, not super fan of me, but super fan of someone. He is out there. He is working very hard, and he's putting up, I think we're into year 4 now. He's got the year 4 stuff up at the YouTube channel. And like I said, if you want to go watch stuff, because first of all, we've got all the YouTube stuff. Then there's some clips of me doing stand-up, vintage clips of me doing stand-up. And there's going to be more coming eventually. Like, I'll tell you this. I'm going to Kuwait next week, and I plan on putting a lot of stuff up on the YouTube channel. We might make a Kuwait folder. Who knows? Our good friend Chuck was nice enough to send me a camera, so I'm going to go ahead and take that to Kuwait with me and film some stuff and send it and put it up and do all that neat stuff.
You got a
Chuck
camera?
sent me his camera again, yeah, even though I lost his GoPro. He was nice enough to send me a video camera.
You lost his GoPro?
He thinks I did. I swear to God I sent it back. And then he's like, no, I never got it. It wasn't in the package you sent. So I have to look through my luggage and see if it's trapped in there somewhere or if it's at the Hilton in Kuwait right now in a lost and found. I have no idea. But I may go check while I'm there. How often do you get back? So I'll buzz over to the Hilton. Hey, I left a GoPro here like 6 months ago. Because he said it's like a little cube thing, and I don't know, because I took all of the stuff out of the bag and put it on my desk in the hotel, thinking I would get through it and fix it and learn how to work it, and I didn't even touch the stuff. I mean, I just used my phone.
You lost his GoPro and he sent you another camera?
He has 3 other GoPros and a video camera. He's like, dude, don't worry about it. And I was mortified. I'm like, fuck, I cannot believe I lost your GoPro. He goes, dude, don't worry about it. I got the 5s now anyway. So it was like an old GoPro, which makes no sense to me. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I have an old. That's like me going, oh yeah, you lost my laptop? No problem. I got an old laptop. I mean, it just seems ridiculous, but Chuck could not be cooler. So it was nice of him. And yeah, he did. He sent me a video tutorial on how to use it again, and he sent me the camera. So I'm looking forward to doing that while I'm out there and making as many movies as I can. But the point is, go to the YouTube channel, the 40-Year-Old Boy YouTube channel, subscribe. This is important. All right. Watching stuff is cool, because that like drives revenue or whatever the fuck, and it allows you to listen to the old shows. Like I said, vintage stand-up clips, some iMovies from Mex, some really neat stuff is up there. I put up the bug. Do you remember? You may remember this. There was a bug on my window once, and I filmed like 8 videos, and I put them up, and now and Gio's put those up, so you can actually watch that in sequence as I'm being pursued by a bug. It's again just silliness and nonsense and fun, but available at the YouTube channel. Subscribe. I'm going to ask you to do that. You just click a button. Fuck. And then like I said, if you want to watch stuff, that's pretty cool. But if you don't, I totally understand. But if you subscribe, it lets YouTube think that I'm somebody who needs to be subscribed to, and they'll feature me, and that's when the big bucks start rolling in, from what I heard. I wouldn't know. I don't know anything about big bucks or rolling, but hopefully, you know what? I check that. I do know about rolling, if I'm going to say hopefully. So that stuff is there. So go right now to the YouTube channel, subscribe, be our friend to be our pal. We've got Lyft, we've got Uber, we've got MileIQ.com, but nobody ever uses those or cares, so I'm not going to tell you about those. Why would I? What was my point? Uber's collapsing anyway, so you don't want to hear about that stuff. And then, what did you want to talk about? You wanted to talk about the Grammys of some sort? Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah. Did you see the tribute?
Well, I didn't. Let's put it this way. I taped them because I can't watch them. I can't. I got to fast forward through all of the garbage. I don't know
what the garbage is.
Everybody talking and everybody playing songs. Other than that, everything's fine.
So you watch the commercials?
Yes. Oh, commercials too. I fast forward to those. No, man. I saw Metallica and Lady Gaga. I don't understand it. I mean, I understand what they were trying to do. I think Lady Gaga could make a fucking badass rock or metal album. Yeah. Because I don't think there's anything she can't do.
What were they trying to do? Because
she sang and they played and they did a new song. But the thing is, again, Grammy has to fuck around. So you can't just have Lady Gaga come out and sing with Metallica. You have to have her dress up in a Metallica t-shirt and dress like a metalhead and fake like she's metal. And then you have to have 30 paid extras hop around like they're in a Nirvana video, which it's like they totally don't get it. At least, dude, form a mosh pit at least.
Do you think she doesn't own a Metallica Metallica? I'm sure she does. I'm sure that was her actual shirt.
But it looked silly to wear it with the band. That's
No,
just the
that's
dumbest.
awesome.
No, it's like Mike Toomey said. Chewbacca wouldn't wear a shirt with his own face on it. It's like if Metallica came out with all Metallica
Have
shirts
you ever
on.
seen Kevin Smith in public?
Kevin Smith doesn't count. That's not what we're talking about here. He's not at the Grammys. Yeah, he's got the fucking Yoga Hoser shirt on, whatever the fuck
All he
on.
ever wears is shirts with his own face on it.
Yeah, it's good for him. And I talked about I got busted at a restaurant wearing my shirt with my own face on it. It's no fun. But she wore a Metallica shirt that just said Metallica. It was just dumb.
It was their Metallica shirt.
It was there for young people who had no idea who these old men who were playing with Lady Gaga.
Disagree, Circle Takes
It
the
was
Square.
it just felt like such a weird choice. I did not care for it.
Wrong.
But again, we'll agree to disagree on that, but we can all agree on the
Fake
fact
news.
that the fake Hessians hopping around and pretending they liked metal, that was just awful. It's like they went and got 15 gay backup dancers and they said, all right, you like this music. They go, no, we don't. Oh my God. And they said, no, you do. I like it. Renee, of course you like it, but these others don't. So then they just stood in front of a speaker and fake danced. It was it was lame.
Let's get to what I wanted to talk about.
We're getting there.
The only thing in the Grammys that I connected to this year, because I watched it live and it was long.
Uh-huh.
It was delightful to see Morris Day in the Time.
Well, here's my favorite. All right, they did a Prince tribute in case you didn't see the Grammys. I call it a Prince tribute, but my favorite part of the Prince tribute is Morris Day and the Time did 2 of their own songs before Prince came out.
Yes. Well, they recreated Purple Rain.
Yes, but it was foolish and it made me laugh because it was so Morris and Jerome to do. Well, it was it was just like the movie because it was like, well, we're gonna do our fucking songs and blow them off the fucking stage. You know what I mean? Like literally.
That was what they did, and that's why I loved it.
Yes.
It was the greatest tribute ever. It's like this was the battle of the bands, and Prince walked out and fucking buried them.
Yeah,
even though he'd written it all.
Well, he buried them on Purple Rain.
Yes.
I would not say he buried them at the Grammys, and because that's perhaps I'm an old person. I think Bruno Mars.
But again, had Bruno Mars just come out and done a Prince song, it would have been ridiculous.
Hold on, a plane's about to crash into the apartment.
But because Morris Day and the Time came out, did 2 great songs,
Yes.
prepped the audience, then Bruno came in, did a decent Prince.
Now, you say prepped the audience. Are you talking about the white people in the audience? Because
No,
they
he
looked.
just got the audience happy.
They
to be
absolutely looked
involved.
unprepped.
No,
They
most
kept
of
cutting
them-
away.
No, most of them were great.
Well, there
were
was
a couple that were.
There were a lot of people in the audience that were grooving and knew the words, but then they chose people that just kind of like, and I understand that because Morris Day and the Time are from the 80s, and there's these young
Yes.
people who don't know the fuck they are. But I think Bruno Mars is a very good entertainer.
Yes.
I think he is an amalgam of all of the entertainers now. Like he could do any style you asked him to do. If you asked him to do a country song, a Prince song, or a metal song, he could do all of those things. He could do them credibly. But there was no juice at all for
No,
me.
I didn't think he was Prince. I didn't think he was trying to put his own spin on Prince either.
No, it was a direct, straightforward.
Let's talk about that lightning in a bottle that was. Morris Day and the Time came out. Prince came out. They did the #1 song from the album. The audience all went, "My gosh, we miss Prince."
They did.
and they moved on.
They did the
It
obvious
wasn't-
choice.
It wasn't maudlin. It wasn't
No.
overly produced. It wasn't. It was just fun to go. Remember that great fun time?
Yes, I get what you're saying. I wanted more,
I
but I will
wanted
say
Prince.
this. Well, sure, we all want Prince. Yeah, it made me sad when they played his voiceover with the keyboard intro and the cymbal. I choked up. I won't lie. I got tears in my
I teared
eyes.
up too, and I just
And
smiled.
then Up With People came out and they did a Six Flags version of Let's Go Crazy, and I was like, okay, well that works. There was
the
no
Revolution.
funk. There was no.
Revolution was great.
That wasn't-
Don't-
that
or
was-
not Revolution. It
It was Bruno Mars.
No, the backup band.
Yeah, it was fake time. I don't even think it was the real time.
No, it was no.
It was not the Revolution. I know that. There was no juice. There was
Hold
none.
on. Hold on.
I'm holding.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
Hold on.
Holding. I found no life in it. I found no. The only thing that I will say, for sure, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was Bruno Mars playing guitar. That was the thing that blew me away. I will say this: Bruno Mars took both solos. He took the solo because when he had the guitar around his neck, I go, well, that's cool that he's got the guitar, so he's going to dance around with that guitar around his neck. I thought it was just part of the look. I thought for him it was a necklace. I didn't realize that he can play fucking guitar and play it well. And then he busted out both fucking solos. He took the solo in the middle, and then he took the solo at the end. And he changed them just a little bit because nobody's fucking Prince, but still, he killed it. He killed both solos, and I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. That I liked. But the rest of the song, it It had no juice and no life, and it didn't feel celebratory at all. And I think you should have a bigger tribute to a guy like Prince. Like, I would rather have like 5 legends up there doing it, and maybe they didn't have the time for it. Maybe they felt that they had it covered with Bruno, but it did not have the same life. It didn't have any of that as far as I was concerned. Are you still looking this up on the internet? Because I can't vamp much longer.
I'm trying to figure out who it was that was the backup band.
But either way, it was just a generic version of Let's Go Crazy with Bruno Mars in the front. There was no funk. It just didn't work for me. Fine, you loved it. I didn't.
I didn't say I loved it. I said it was the best thing on the Grammys.
Well, that's not saying much. I mean, Adele comes out and fucking chili dips the tribute to George Michael, starts over. Everybody thinks she's a goddamn hero. Beyonce comes out and does what I did every day in 5th grade and almost falls off a chair. I was like, all right, well, good for you.
What did you do every day in 5th grade?
Tip my chair backwards like that.
Okay.
Do you remember when Beyonce?
You know what was really funny? Eddie looked at me and he goes, I'm really tired of magic tricks being exposed on TV.
Oh, that's funny.
Which made me laugh really hard.
Well, I'm not griping about Beyonce. I'm not this old man who's like, get off my lawn. I'm sure everybody does good music.
It was the time that backed them up. That's right.
Okay, yeah, but it wasn't. They didn't get to be the time. They still seem like Morris and Jerome's backup band, even if it was the time. You know what I mean? It just whatever. I just didn't find any real life in it. I found life in Morris and Jerome. Because it made me laugh when he said chili sauce. I'm like, he's gonna do this right down to the fucking the total. He did the whole fucking thing right down to chili sauce, which made me happy. But I will say this: Bruno Mars is Prince. I guess so. If you want to play Halloween and dress up as Prince and a thing and bring the guitar out and do all that stuff. Granted, he took both solos, which made me happy.
But again, I don't think he was Prince. He was the essence of the memory of Prince.
It had no life for me, no juice. Because then everybody's like drooling over it and going crazy. And I got to admit, I was expecting a lot coming in, and I just went, oh, it's just a straight rendition of the song. But he did take both solos, which made me happy. But I will say this again, whether we agree to disagree on Bruno and whether there was life or not, infinitely better than Lady Gaga's David Bowie tribute of last year, because I still wake up in a cold sweat wondering what the hell that was. So when I heard she was doing it with Metallica, I'm just like, maybe they do Jean Genie this year and give her a second crack at Bowie, because last year she came out and it again, no life, no juice. Maybe it's the building, man. Maybe it's the fucking Staples Center. They got to put in an intimate venue or something smaller.
Maybe it's on a small TV.
I got a 40-inch fucking TV with
It
HD.
doesn't matter. It's like watching John Galt not John Galt, John Wack. What the fuck's his name?
John Galt's not bad either on a small TV.
John
Wick.
John Galt is why I said that.
John Wick.
John Wick.
Yeah.
It's like watching John Wick on here versus, like you said, you really need to see it in the theater.
Now, I'll tell you what I do pay to watch. John Wick come in and shoot the fuck out of everybody at the goddamn Grammys. Now, see, then I'm on board. You get him inside, he's like, you killed my prince. And he just fucking mows down everybody, cuts down the time, shatters Jerome's mirror, fucking lays Morris the fuck out. Morris is doing that little like side-to-side dance, dodging bullets, but he finally catches him, shooting gallery style, and fucking lays him out, turns the guns out, fucking... You want to hook people in, get them halfway through a recipe and cut your fucking show in half. That's it. Do an hour about stew and then bail, get on a plane, and then come back and revisit it 2 days later, because that's the most important stew in the universe. Was there noodles or rice involved? Stay tuned!
We here, we are playing on a level that most will never see.